Guess who just got back from the dentist with no major issues or cavities? This girl right here. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. We are live in the sewing room for day 3 of a project that seems to be taking forever. What can I say? So we are making the Noodlehead Petal Pouches. This is a pattern that I had for a while. I've made it before, but it's been several years, I think, since I've really gotten back into it. So this is taking a lot longer than I thought, which is a little bit deflating. I'm going to keep it real here. That's what we do here at the Sewing Report. How is everyone doing? It's actually a pretty cold afternoon here in Florida. What is it, March? My husband got home and he turned on the heat. I don't understand that. I would put on a sweater, but hey, whatever. So I just got back from the dentist. I was not planning on streaming today, at all. But my voice doesn't feel like garbage. I feel okay. I got up hella early today in order to do everything. So I figured, I'm going to be working on this stuff anyways. And it really doesn't take that much effort, more effort to just set up a live stream. So here we are, and we're gonna get back into it. We're on day 3, and I've still only made 2 pouches. So I don't know. And I had put on a little bit of makeup so I didn't look totally scary at the dentist. So really when I'm live streaming, the big time consuming process, it's actually like getting the stream set up and everything doesn't take too long. It's really like getting ready to be on camera. I don't want to scare everyone with a makeup-free experience quite yet, but I put on a little bit of makeup and it looked okay. I did take a shower yesterday, but I didn't curl my hair or anything. But I felt like I looked decent enough to do this on camera, so that's where we are today. Guys, my teeth, man. I haven't been to the dentist in 5 years, and this dental hygienist worked wonders. She got all of the staining off of my teeth. My teeth, here, I'll show you. I went in with really black staining at the base of my bottom teeth. It looked really terrible. And I was like, this is permanent? I don't know. My teeth are not great. They're pretty sensitive. They're soft. They're pretty cavity prone. I have a pretty strict dental care home routine, I guess. And apparently it paid off because the dentist said I had no real major issues, even though I have not been to the dentist since probably 2017, something like that. So I was really surprised. And this is just your local hometown dentist type of situation. They really didn't charge me that much. I was shocked. A new patient visit was only $110. I got x-rays. I got that 360 photo thing. I got a very deep cleaning and the dental checkup, and it was literally all in $110. And I also found out that just a cleaning, just a regular cleaning exam, if there's nothing wrong, it's only about $100. So now that I realize the dentist is fairly affordable, I will certainly go more often. I've been neglecting going for some reason, and I don't know why. But I'll be real with you. The reason what got me to make an appointment was a couple weeks ago. I was watching this history type show on YouTube, and it was something like what killed people in different periods of history. So they would go back to the Victorian era or the what are the other eras? There was another one I can't remember, but it was mainly the Victorian era, and talking about what kind of things people did on the regular actually killed them. There was arsenic and wallpaper and stuff. And one of the biggest killers of people back in the day was actually sugar, which is you're okay, but you have to remember people didn't have all of the products we have now. They didn't have good toothpaste. They didn't have those nice toothbrushes. So apparently in the 1800s or something, when sugar became more affordable and more widespread in terms of everyday use, the middle class people could afford sugar. It literally rotted their teeth out and killed people. because they didn't have access to good dental care, and the photos were horrifying. So I watched that show, and literally the next day I called and made a dental appointment because I was like, that I don't want that to be me. Plus, after that show, that one show alone, I'm now trying to cut back on soda consumption just because those photos and like the video of people with like they would have like skulls of people who died back in that period, and their teeth were jacked up, man. Like, it was really pretty crazy stuff. So I'm going to try to take better care of my teeth. And now that I know it's somewhat affordable, I'm like, cool. So how's everyone doing? I know it's Wednesday. Yeah, I was not planning to do this. Maybe I'll stream on Friday too. I'm not really sure. But I kind of want to keep streaming on Sunday because I know that seems to be a very popular day. But I hope everyone's having a great day. We're going to continue the sewing, and I figured I was going to be doing this anyway. So, I mean, why not just do a live stream while I'm doing it anyways? I mean, really, it's not that much extra effort. I already looked, somewhat presentable, not homeless. So we're going to do this. And welcome the Noodlehead Petal Pouch pattern. All the links are in the description box below if you'd like to check it out, support this particular, she's an independent pattern designer. And also, as usual, all right, we're going to get rid of my name here because we don't really need that. As usual, this live stream is sponsored by the Sewing Report Etsy shop, which is indeed my own Etsy shop, the source for very cute curated fabric and sewing supplies. So check it out. This channel is not monetized yet, so hey, we gotta pay the bills. I gotta make enough money to be able to go back to the dentist so my teeth don't fall out. So I really appreciate everything. So let's get into it. But all right, so last night I streamed for like 9.5 hours yesterday. I got these petal pouches clipped and ready to sew. So I think we'll start off with that since these are about ready. So I got everything clipped. Let me check these out here. Okay, yeah, everything looks pretty good. Okay, so we're going to go over to the sewing machine right away this time, and we will get these two sewn up. I don't know, I'm trying to do an assembly line style thing, but I only have so many clips, so, I think I may do when we get to the clip part, maybe I'll do those like a couple at a time or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But guys, this project is taking me way longer than I thought it would. So here we are. So yeah, we'll go over to the sewing machine and we will get these sewn up. These are the small petal pouches. If you're kind of new here, these are the examples. I sewed these up last night, so we got these done. This is the large size of the petal pouch, and this is the small size. They're definitely a little trickier to sew because they have a curved zipper, so you have to apply the zipper on a curve. This has taken me far longer than I anticipated. So here's the small one. I'm using this really cute floral metallic fabric. I believe this is Ruby Star Society, and on the inside is this natural colored canvas with gold metallic little graphical designs on there. Really cute. And then for the large size, this is strawberry canvas, also by Ruby Star Society. And I used the outside fabric from the smaller pouch for a little loop tab on the side. And then on the inside, we have a little bit of a color surprise here. And the lining is this really fun aqua color with this is a super old cotton and steel print. I don't think they make it anymore. And I also added my Sewing Report labels on all of them, so I thought this would be good, good branding and everything. So we're going to continue these. I have made 2. I'm making 8 more. So we've got a ways to go. We'll see. I'm going to see how much progress I can make tonight. I'm not going to be on forever today, but hopefully for a little bit. So welcome if you're watching. We're going to go over to the sewing machine, and I think I accidentally started recording this video, and I did not mean to do that. This thing. All right, let's go over to the sewing machine, and then we will work on sewing up these pouches. Okay, whoops. All right, camera keeps, I keep accidentally hitting the wrong button. Okay, here we go. All right. And I am sewing on the Juki DDL 8700. This is an industrial machine. I've had it for about a year, I think. I really like it. It's very powerful, and it's actually surprisingly easy to sew on. Like, it doesn't feel like it's too much, if that makes sense to you. Like, it feels very comfortable for me. All right, so you got this little thing. It kind of looks like a bowl here, but because this is a curved pouch, that's why you got this kind of flipped up. So I'm going to be sewing, leaving an opening for turning, and sewing starting around here, sewing all the way around, 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then I can turn these and then finish up by closing up the lining here. So it's going to be, might be a little hard to see because I kind of have to hold this. This thing kind of keeps popping up, so I'm going to try to not give you an obstructed view. So hopefully we can do that. Okay. So, all right, we'll move that down here. So 1/2 inch seam allowance, lots of back stitching at the start and stopping points because when you turn this, you're definitely going to need to, the stitches might pop if it's not secured with back stitching. And I'm doing about a 2.5 inch stitch length. All right, so let's get ready to rock and roll here. All right, do some back stitching. All right, we'll do another one just to be safe. Okay. And then I'm removing, oh, I should have brought my clip. All right, I'm gonna have to get my clip cup at sub point so I can put these back in. It's about a 1/2 inch seam allowance here. All right. Yeah, I want to see how much I can get done today and then get something to eat. I went to bed really late last night. Well, I mean, I guess not super late, but I fell asleep probably around 2, and then I had to get up around 7 o'clock. So again, if I wasn't getting up at 7 a.m., it wouldn't have been bad, but because of that, I got about 5 hours of sleep. I don't know. All right, so... All right, and then I'm also going to be reinforcing the part around the zipper tape just to give that a little extra security there with a little more stitchings. All right, so we're going to do that just because that area is probably going to have a little more like stress on it. I'm also trying to make sure everything's even, and I'm also really trying to make sure nothing gets like caught up, so that there's no, like, so that the fabric doesn't get caught up on itself or something like that. So I'm trying to do that as well. But welcome to my sewing room. If you're new here, I'm Jen with the Sewing Report, and we are sewing Petal Pouches. So this should be fun. It's just taking me a really, really long time to do this whole thing. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, I'm actually gonna put this back because I feel like this might have, all right, a little wrinkle in it. All right, let's see here. All right, let me backstitch a little bit. All right, and I'm just trying to give this a little extra security. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my clip cup so I can put all the clips in there so they're not kind of all over the place. So we'll do that. Okay. Got my water. I really thought I would be more run down or tired today, but I'm not. So I thought, you know, hey, why not give this a go? Let me get my clips in here. All right. But yeah, welcome. I'm glad if you are here, that you find it fun to watch somebody sew or just come hang out. Let's see here. All right, and I'm kind of, all right. This is the part where I want to be careful too, is this, I think I might add a few extra, some extra stitches at the corners too, especially on the main fabric, just because again, this is an area where it might have some additional like stress on it. So I might do that just to make sure that it's secure. All right, go. Just a few extra stitches, nothing too crazy. Okay. And we're going to do both of these at once. So in a little bit, we should have 2 more petal pouches. So we'll see how far we can get tonight with everything. And then we'll, I guess, pick it up probably on like, what day is today? I think I'll pick it up on Friday maybe. So tomorrow I think I might do some editing and stuff. And we might live stream. Sunday seems to be a day that everybody likes. So I was kind of wondering if I wanted to commit to a weekend, but you know, I could honestly, there's probably not too many Sundays where I wouldn't be able to do it. And maybe if I couldn't do it on a Sunday, I could just make an announcement or something like that. So, you know, I don't know. I'm leaning towards Sunday at this point as sort of a semi-regular day, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But let me know what you think in the chat and in the comments. What you think about a Sunday as a streaming day. All right, I'm going to add a little back stitching here. All right. Yeah, I think my husband's gaming right now, so we got our own thing going on here. It's all good. All right, so 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right. All right, this part is a little bit bulky, so I'm definitely going to need to kind of hold it down here with my finger. Let's see here. Really, don't be afraid to go slow at these areas either. You know, no rushing. All right. All right, one more and then I'm going to pivot. This also, you kind of have to pivot it because this is sort of at like an angle here, if that makes sense. So it kind of dips in and then comes out. So you do it, it's almost like sewing a corner in some ways. Okay. All right, I'll probably do a little back stitching here as well. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're actually almost done with this one too. The thing with the smaller size is that at least, yeah, the sewing itself is really, like, this is such a small item. That does make it kind of tricky though, because it is small. It's a little hard to get sometimes into these little spaces and everything. So that can be a little tricky. Okay, and I've got my opening. Yeah, let's see. Oh wait, did I open this up? Let me make sure, okay. You also, I have to make sure that the zipper is open instead of closed, otherwise we wouldn't be able to turn this right side out and that would be bad. Okay, so my opening for turning is probably gonna be like maybe 4 inches long, it looks like. All right, so this should be plenty though for turning. So I'm doing a lot of back stitching just so that my stitches don't pop out later. Okay, I think this is good. Let's go to the next one. So here's what we have now. And I'm also gonna go around here and make sure there's no like puckers in the fabric. Let's check that out, check it. It seems pretty okay so far. All right, check this side. I don't really notice anything weird, so I think that's good. So here's my seam. So you can see I matched it up pretty good with everything. Let's see, this looks like I think it'll look pretty good when it's turned right side out so far. Okay, so let's do the other one. Then we'll go back to the table and start turning them right side out. Oh, and we have to trim the seam allowances too. So there's quite a few steps with this. All right, so I'm going to start this one. Look at this clip's coming out. Let's start this one about here. Okay. So again, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Whoops, okay. Okay. All right, okay. I'm gonna start this a little closer to here. Okay. All right, so again, stitch, lots of back stitching. Back stitching. I'm doing quite a bit of back stitching here just so it does not come loose. All right, we're getting to the... And if anyone has any questions about what I'm doing, you're welcome to leave your question and I'll try to answer it. We'll take a few breaks throughout the evening to read some comments. So I know I've kind of seen the feedback that people do not like when live streamers constantly interrupt the stream to read the chat. So I'm going to try not to do that. So I'll have a few designated times where I do read the chat, but I'm not going to... I will not be generally reading the chat in real time because I know that kind of annoys people, especially if they're watching a replay. I can definitely understand that. So I just wanted to let everybody know I am seeing your comments, but I am going to be, I am definitely seeing your comments come in. Well, not right now since I'm at the sewing table, but I generally do, and I will like read a lot of them. But not like at the same time you're making the comment. So if that makes any sense. Okay. Go. Let's remove this clip. And I did also yesterday discover that using leather tape from Serrated is a good way to baste your seam. So we'll be doing that. Okay, this looks pretty good, I think. It seemed to be helpful. All right, we'll back stitch a little bit here. Okay. This smaller one is a little bit tricky just because it's, you know, it's so tiny. It's so small. Okay. It's kind of, sometimes it can also be a little challenging to keep the seam allowance too, so that can be a little bit rough. Actually, I don't even have to really remove the clips. Like, this foot is actually sewing right past them. All right, here we go. So actually, yeah, I can sort of keep them in and it's really not like causing any problems. All right, I'll go ahead and trim these threads too right now. Okay, get this out. All right, we're gonna make some progress today. How much? I'm not really sure. We'll do some stuff though. We'll do some stuff. All right, I guess I can just keep moving the clips. I don't know. We'll do it. It is kind of easier to see the line on my needle plate this way. So that is one benefit to removing the clips as I'm going. Okay. But yeah, we do have to trim down the seam allowance. It is a lot. So that should make it a little easier. Okay. Oh, and you know what? I am going to reinforce this a little bit. I probably should have done that to the other side too. I kind of forgot about that. All right, we'll go back afterwards and we'll reinforce that. Did I do it to the other side? Yeah, I did. Okay. So I'll reinforce that other corner too. Ah, here's a clip. Okay. All right, let's try to. This is definitely kind of tricky when you get to the part where the zipper meets up here. This can be a little hard. All right, so we are gonna back stitch a little bit here. All right, pivot a little bit. Okay, yeah, this is a little tricky for sure. Where's the half? Okay, I'm having a hard time finding this seam allowance, seam line too. There we go. Okay. Backstitch a little bit. All right. All right, we're getting over here. Okay. All right, we're almost to the end here. All right, and I do have to make sure to leave that opening for turning. I'm going to leave about, this is probably about good here. All right, let's backstitch. Lots of backstitching here. And I'm actually going to go over to the section at that outside corner, and I'm going to just reinforce that seam a little bit more, just to be safe. Sometimes I kind of forget about stuff. All right, so I already did that one. All right, so we'll just go over this like one more time. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna go over this whole area. I think this helps a little bit. Okay. That's about it, I think. So we can go back and start turning this right side out now. Okay, let's trim my threads. And I also will check to make sure, like when I'm at the sewing machine, I normally will try to check just to make sure that, let's see here. Probably could have sewn that angle a little bit better. Let's see here. We'll see how that turns out. Just to make sure there's no like accidental tucks here. I don't see any where my fabric folded or anything. I don't see anything weird. So I think we're okay. Okay, let me trim this seam here. Let's see. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, all right, let's take this back and work on it some more. Okay, so now we are over and we're going to trim the seam allowances and then turn everything right side out. Okay. And then this is going to be your opening for turning. So I'm going to, oh, this actually seems really, let me see, my seam allowance may have gotten a little off kilter there. Let's see. This is about 1/2 inch. This feels like way more than 1/2 inch. Oh well. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to trim the seam allowance, but I'm not going to be trimming the area with the section for turning because I'm going to really want all of this fabric to be able to really close it up good. So if you cut off the seam allowance, you don't leave yourself much leeway when you are doing that. The other thing I will do is, let me get my marking pen. I'm going to mark a line where like generally the fabric would have gone, and that'll also help me try to figure out how I'm folding this too. So we'll do this. Okay. You don't really have to do all this stuff. This is just stuff I do and I find it makes it easier for me. Okay. Here we go. All right. All right, so let's trim the seam allowance. I'm going to use these new serrated scissors I got from Kai. We'll trim this down probably to like a quarter, like a little under 1/4 of an inch, something like that. Yeah, this is getting, let's see here. This might be a little tricky here. All right. And then I'm gonna pay especially close attention to this area at the side where the zipper tape is. There's gonna be so much bulk there. I'm going to trim that a little bit closer than the rest of it. Okay. All right, keep trimming this seam allowance. Trim seam allowance. I feel like I maybe sewed a little big of a seam allowance here, but it'll be okay, I guess. Okay. Trim this guy here. I'm being careful. I don't want to cut through the fabric. That would be bad too. Oh, and I need to get my trash can. Okay. All right. Just got one side done. Let's do the other side, or the other pouch. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I might have sewn that seam allowance a little wide. It'll be okay. Wonder how big this pouch may be, like a tiny bit smaller than the others. Maybe a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. And I would use my pinking shears, but these fabrics are both pretty thick, so I feel like the pinking shears would really struggle with that. Ah, wow, these scissors really are kind of sharp though. That's for sure. All right. Okay, I'm gonna stop about here. Okay, let me get my trash can and we'll dump that out. Let me turn the iron on. I will do that as well. All right, let me get the trash can here. Okay, I'm gonna need this quite a bit. It's also pretty heavy right now because I got some other stuff in it too. Okay. All right, so I just usually kind of sweep everything in the trash can. Okay. All right, we'll put this. Trying to figure out, can you see the trash can? I feel like you can. Now, let me see here. All right, is this visible? Actually, no, it's not. Okay, so I can keep this out of the way here. All right, so let me get my pressing pad here. All right, and for this, to kind of prep this little area for, let's see, got a few loose threads here. All right, this might be a little hard to see, but I'm kind of going to fold this fabric in on that line. Let's see here. Just so that when I turn it right side out, it's got sort of like a guide already. So it should be a lot easier to close up that lining if you fold in the edges first like this and just hit it with an iron. And it'll make it a bit easier. All right, so let's turn this right side out. Be careful. Yeah, my opening, I did a smaller opening than the last couple pouches I did. Hopefully it'll be all right. This is gonna be a little tough. Oh boy, yeah. All right. All right, I guess people call this birthing a bag. I don't know if I like to think about that like that, but you know, hey, it is what it is. And because I backstitched when I was sewing this together, notice my seams are not like popping out, so that's good. Oh boy, I didn't want too large of an opening, but yeah, this is gonna be a little tough. Here we go. Okay, it's starting to go. It's starting to move here. And yeah, you don't want to force this too much. And I will press this at the end, so I should have, you know, so it'll look nice, because when you turn it right side out, it will get a little bit like wrinkled and everything. That's okay. All right, let's see. Let's see how these seams match up really well, actually. So that turned out good. This side. Let's see how this side looks. And you'll start to see it come together here. There we go. But yeah, this project is just taking me so freaking long. Longer than I really thought it would, but that's all right. Okay, so, all right, here's how it's turning out. Okay, yeah, look at these zipper tabs the zipper tabs look beautiful. Zipper tabs very nice. And you know, I can tell the difference because I reinforced the area near the zipper tape while I was sewing it. If I don't do that, the stitches tend to get a lot of stress on them, and then you'll start to see it come apart and you'll see the thread. I can barely see it, so I think I did a pretty good job of reinforcing that area. So, all right, so I got to close up the lining. Okay. All right, yeah, this is looking pretty good. I'm going to kind of pop my fingers in here and just poke it a little bit. Okay. Poke it a little bit here. Yeah, this looks pretty good, I think. Actually, this one, wait, for some reason this one looks way smaller. What did I do here? All right, yeah, I think I sewed this a little small. Let's see here. Let me see here. Yeah, I feel like I did that. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I used a little bit too big of I might have to make another one of these, honestly. Yeah, I feel like I sewed a little too big of a seam allowance. This one's definitely noticeably smaller than this one. I mean, it's not too bad. Okay, it's not too bad. Okay. It's a little bit, yeah, on one side I feel like it's definitely a little bit smaller. Okay. Hopefully it'll still be okay. All right. All right. I think okay. I think I'm back. I think? All right. All right. Sorry, guys. I think my internet sort of went kaput for a minute. Something like that. All right, but we are back, I think. Hopefully everything's cool. Hopefully. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Am I still live? Okay, we're still live. All right. It looks like I had sort of a glitch here. I don't know what's going on. All right, are we still here? Let me check to make sure we're still live. I think we're still live. Hopefully we're good. That's the thing, I'm hardwired to the internet too, so I shouldn't be having any problems, you would think. Yeah, I feel like on this one, my seam allowance wasn't super big. All right, it's not like super small, so I think it'll still be okay. It's a tiny bit smaller than the other one, so this is not totally uniform. So I might make we'll see, I might make another one. I think if I make some and I'm getting some issues with some of them, but the quality of this one looks good. I think I just sewed the seam allowance a little bit small. I think it'll be okay though, overall. Yeah. I think let's see here. I wonder if I should do this again. You know what? Yeah, I might sort of do this again. Let's see here. I don't really like this. Okay. I'm actually all right, so that's what I'm gonna do. I feel like this turned out like too small on the bottom. I kind of want to sew this seam again. I just don't like this, although I'm not sure. I'm wondering how much the stitches would show. I just feel like I shaved off a little too much here, so I might turn this inside out again. And I'm gonna redo this seam, quite honestly. So I'm gonna pick these stitches out. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt. And I'm gonna redo this. Sorry for the technical issues. I honestly have no idea what happened with that. That was pretty weird. All right, so we're gonna turn this back. I know this is gonna be fun. Okay, I'm gonna turn this back inside out, and I'm going to redo part of that. I don't like how that turned out. Let me try the other one and see how that one looks. But sometimes, you know, you make mistakes and everything, so it'll be okay. All right, let's try this. Yeah, I'm gonna pick these out, and then I'm going to re-sew that one particular section. I think we're gonna do that. So, all right, fun times here in the sewing room, right? Let me try the other one and see. Let's check the other one and see how that one turned out, though. This one, I feel like had a pretty good all-around seam allowance. Okay, so I already trimmed that. Okay, let's turn this. Oh wait, actually I gotta sew this. I gotta press this down. Actually, I could probably just do this on top, I guess. It wouldn't really matter too much. Okay, it'll make it a little easier for everybody to see. But yeah, I think I'm gonna redo that one. I just feel like it's too small. So I sewed too big of a seam allowance, and I just don't like it. So I'm actually going to pick the stitches out, which is going to be a pain in the butt because they're kind of small. And I'm actually going to just do that one over again. I just don't like the way it looks at the end. So we'll do that. So we're going to do that again. Okay. Just press this, just try to get that started. Okay, oh, this opening is also kind of small for turning. Yeah, I just feel like that pouch would be a little small. I don't know. All right. It is 5 o'clock. Is everyone having dinner soon? What's everybody having for dinner? Let me know. Leave a comment, leave a chat here if you're watching. Love to know what's going on with you. All right. All right. Oh, can we turn this right side out? I don't know. Oh, this is always kind of a... Do you ever get frustrated while you're doing this? Also, I always get worried about like something happening to the project at this point, especially if you've been working on it for a long time. I always worry that something bad is going to happen. I don't know. Okay, this side looks okay. See, this could be a little bit better at like the part where it meets up, but it's not bad. Like, it's not terrible. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to redo this section. So I'm going to need my seam ripper. Okay, let's get this going. Oh boy, what's going on with this? All right. So now's the part we got to press everything out. Ooh, split pea soup for dinner. That sounds pretty good. That sounds really tasty, actually. All right, this is coming out. This one's, I think, is coming out a little bit better than the other one. Yeah, you see this one, I just sewed a little too, yes, I need to do a new line of stitching, and it just needs to be a little bit more, like a little farther out, I think. I think that would be better. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay, but this one's definitely a better, I think, a better size. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is hard to, it's kind of hard to tell what it'll look like here. Oh boy, yeah, and I'm gonna need to press. This area definitely has a little bit of bulk here, so you gotta press this pretty good. You know what, I've got an idea. I'm gonna get my sleeve roll. I think that would help me pressing these. Let me grab that real quick. Okay, so I think this is going to help me a little bit. I'm going to put this on the sleeve roll, and hopefully that'll make it easier to press this. And I just really want to kind of press this a little flatter. Okay, we'll try that with the tip of the iron. All right, we're going to try this. I think that'll really help. just with how it looks. Let's see here. This could be just a little bit better. Okay. I think that's better already, yeah. There's so much bulk in that one area. Let's see how this corner looks. This corner's not bad. Yeah, let me compare the sizes of this. Let's see here. Okay, so this also has a lot of bulk too. I'm really trying to press this out so it's pretty even. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is what this one looks like. Let's compare it to the other one. All right, this one's pretty good. I feel like they're all like different sizes. That's the weird thing. Yeah, I don't know. Let me close this up and see how this looks. All right, this one's closer in size. Let's see here. I wonder also, you know what, I feel like I could have cut the seam allowance. Maybe I'll cut the seam allowance a little bit. Oh boy, I'm having some troubles today. Maybe I'll cut the seam allowance a little bit more on this one. That might help too. All right, let's turn this, all right, we're living and learning here. All right, I'm gonna turn this back out. Oh my gosh, what is going on? I think I need to trim the seam allowance down a little bit more. Okay. And quite honestly, I feel like I should have used a slightly smaller seam allowance on this too, but yeah, I don't know. All right. But I think, actually, that's pretty good already. I don't know. Maybe I'll just trim this a little bit just so it's not so bulky here. We'll trim this maybe. Okay, here we go. Trim this. Trim this guy here. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll trim the other side. It's part with the zipper. This is just very bulky overall here. All right, we'll trim this part here. All right, maybe we'll do that. Okay. I hope I don't ruin this. All right, let's trim this too down a little bit. Okay, I think that's better. Now I got all these little bits here. Okay, but I'm gonna re-sew the other one. I just think I could have done it better. So we're gonna redo that one. Ah. All right, lots of random stuff around here. I'm wearing like a pretty like janky t-shirt too today, so that's always fun. All right, so I think, which is the one I want to redo? I think this is, let's see, I think this is the one I'm redoing, I believe. Okay. Yeah, this is the one I'm redoing. Okay. And then this is the one that's okay. All right, yeah, I trimmed this down pretty thin. Okay, so this one's okay. I just felt like there was still too much bulk at the seams, so I decided to trim down the seam allowance even more. On this guy, I'm going to do a new line of stitching that's a little bit, actually, I'm going to mark my new stitch line. Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit bigger. Okay, here we go. We'll do this like here. All right, I'm going to mark where I'm actually going to stitch, just so I don't get, and then once I stitch this, I will remove, I'll remove the old line of stitching, but I'm going to wait until I sew this. So we'll do this. Okay, actually, yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so I think we'll do this. Hopefully this makes it a little bit better. I just felt like my stitching was like not very consistent on this particular section, and I just am not super happy with it. So we're going to do that whole thing again, which I know is going to be a pain in the butt, and picking out the stitches is going to be like not fun. So I already know that going in, but hey, it is what it is, right? Ah. All right. Oh my gosh. I'll be happy when we move on to the bigger ones. I think those will in some ways, in my opinion, larger items are slightly easier, just for the fact that when you're doing small items, it's just so hard to like get into some of these areas. And I just find it to be kind of a pain in the butt. So, okay, yeah, this definitely made a huge difference removing some of the seam allowance bulk. So I think that was a good, thing overall. All right, let's press this out again. Yeah, this area over here is definitely improved. I'm gonna use my marking pen to sort of poke it out even more here. Here we go. All right, yeah, I think that looks way better overall. Okay, and now we'll close this up. All right, so we got to close this up. Let me compare this. All right, yeah, and I'm using like this one as like the example size. I think this one looks pretty good, but yeah, I'm gonna redo that one. All right, guys, one of these days we'll be done. One of these days. All right. All right, so let's close this up. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and say it. The larger size of this pattern is, in my opinion, easier. Just because you're not working with all these tiny little spaces. All right, I'm gonna try to use the glue too. Glue-based, although quite honestly, the glue has been a little hit or miss for the canvas, so that hasn't really been working super well. So I don't know, we'll see. Okay, let's try to put some glue here. Nothing but problems here, nothing but problems. I'm gonna use a lot of glue too. So this is how I normally will close up openings here. And I glue base like a mofo, guys. I use glue for as much as I possibly can. All right, let's see if this will close. I've just been having, this canvas is just not super conducive to glue basting for some reason. Even though it is cotton, so you'd think it would be, but for some reason it's just really, yeah, it's not. I'll let it dry for a little bit. So we'll go over and I'll sew this shut, and then I'm gonna re-sew this. And then we'll see where we are after that. Fun times in the sewing room. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's go back over to the machine. All right, all right, well, I'm glad the live stream seemed to almost crap out, but it didn't, so that's cool. All right, let's go back to the sewing machine, and then we will close up this lining, and I'm going to re-sew a seam. Okay. Then I'm gonna have to unpick a lot of stitches, and that's gonna be less than fun, especially since my seam allowance was so small. So that will be a good time. All right, let's actually do the seam first. Okay. So I think I know what I want to do here. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick out like a bunch, just a bunch of seams here. That's gonna be not great. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, so the good thing about a generous seam allowance is it gives you room to take it out later. So that's a plus. Okay. All right, I got that done. I'm gonna see how this looks. Okay. And I'm gonna have to pick out like tons of stitches. Let's trim this. And then, all right, I'm going to do a 3-stitch length for closing up this opening. So we'll do this next. Okay, shouldn't be too bad. 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, 3.0 stitch length. Definitely back stitching. And I'm starting a little bit before the actual opening, and then I'm gonna end a little bit afterwards. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, let me try to pull this open a little bit. Okay. Okay, back stitch. All right, not too bad. Okay, let's trim this thread. So this pouch is done. I just have to press it so it looks better. Okay. And then this pouch, we're gonna unpick some stitches. Okay, let's see how this fits back in. Actually, I'm gonna trim this too. Lots of thread trimming today. All right, so this pouch is done. So you see the opening is all closed up. So here's the lining. So I definitely depress it, but overall it's pretty good. Zipper tab looks good. It looks pretty good. This other one, I need to do some stitch picking, and I also do not actually have a seam ripper, so I need to get a seam ripper. I just have the cap of one, which is sort of disappointing. Okay, oh, here we go. All right, oh. All right, what's going on here? Okay, I got a seam ripper. All right, so I did a second line of stitching, and I'm going to take out the first one. This is going to be such a tedious task though, because there's a lot of stitches and they're also very small. So this is gonna, I also hope that the needle puncture doesn't like ruin it too. Hopefully there's not holes in the fabric. That would be disappointing as well. All right, I'm gonna have to do, I wonder if it would be easier from this side. And because this thread is white on white interfacing, it's also hard to see. So that is certainly a challenging row of stitches to pick out. And don't forget, I actually reinforced the stitches at the corner, so there was even more to pick out. So fun times, but I felt like this seam allowance I did was too wide, and it really like shrunk the project, so that's not cool. So we're gonna try to fix this. I'm trying. Why did I, it's the bad thing about doing small stitch lengths. All right, so here we go. I need to be able to see as well, so I need to kind of hold it close. All right, so I'm gonna get a little closer here. Oh my gosh, I can barely see this. This is such a pain in the butt. Why? Why? All right. I can hear my husband talking to people in the other room online, which is kind of funny. And I'm really talking to like nobody, so I think he's the crazy one, but maybe not. All right, gonna pick this stitch out. Okay. All right, lots of loose thread to pick out. All right, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a while. What the heck? Yeah, I really felt like this pouch was just, like the boxed out corners, I could see they were just too narrow compared to the other one. So, you know, since I could still fix it, I wanted to fix it. All right, we're gonna make some more after this. Oh my gosh, what a pain in the butt. All right, but yeah, I think this one looks pretty good. Obviously this needs to be pressed, but I think it came out pretty cute. pretty cute. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think these look awesome overall. Yeah. A really cute project here. All right, we're going to start, hopefully we'll start a little collection of these pouches. And I do plan to list these in the Etsy shop when they're done. So if you are buying one, you can see how they were all painstakingly made. Won't that be fun? All right, let me poke this way. I think it'll be kind of easier to, this is turned out. Oh my gosh, this is. Who likes picking out your stitches? Does anybody? Stitch ripping, the fun. All right. I still have quite a ways to go here. But yes, I mean, since I still could fix it, I thought I just would do it. I felt it. I do feel like it'll be worth it, hopefully. All right, because this pouch was due. I just really deviated too much from the actual seam allowance and what it was supposed to be. So that's my problem. That's my problem. Oh man, this is a pain in the butt. And if you're wondering, I am using Glide 40 weight thread, which is available in the Sewing Report Etsy shop. Oh yeah. All right. All right, I'm gonna have to get out my lint roller again to get all these loose random pieces of thread out. All right, this section isn't going too badly. All right. Yeah, I just felt like this one was not the shape it was supposed to be, and I think it's because I just deviated from the seam allowance too. I made the seam allowance way too big, and that's not great. Okay, let's. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have for. I think I'm gonna have more leftover pasta tonight. Maybe. I think I'm gonna do that. We'll do that. Okay. Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of stitches. Because I reinforced this one area, there's just a lot of stitches to pick out. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Okay. All right, well, this is gonna be really fun. And by fun, I mean like not fun. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, sorry guys, I accidentally took myself out of the studio. That was definitely not what I was intending to do. Let me make sure my audio is okay. Okay, we've had some issues today, that's for sure. All right, general. All right, let's look at my camera. Okay, we're good on the camera. Oh my gosh. All right, sorry about that. I accidentally clicked the wrong button on my mouse, and that's really what happened there. All right, let me get my screen up again. Okay. Well, that was fun. Okay. All right, so, oh, and you know what I do need to do? I actually need to turn my computer volume down. I was supposed to do that earlier. Hopefully nobody got like a weird echo or something. So if you did, let me know. This is still like kind of an early on in the process. All right. But thank you, Chronic Crafter, for tuning in. Stitch ripping picking is not my favorite. We also have Krabby Dragon, one of our favorites here. All right, you're at work. That's cool. Keep it on in the background. No worries. Okay, no echo. That's good. All right. We've had some definitely weird technical issues. And yesterday my program just crashed on me. And I honestly have no idea why. So I don't know. All right, let's try to... So we're just ripping out some stitches right now because I went a little rogue with my sewing earlier. Okay. I do not know what's going on. Yeah, I really did reinforce these stitches, but now I can't I can't get them out. So that's sort of a problem. Okay. All right, so I need to, oh my gosh, what the heck? All right. Trying to get this out. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, and let me add this. All right. All right, sorry. All right. I had to add, so for some reason, like, I accidentally left the studio, which was not what I wanted to do. But luckily it didn't end the stream, so that's good. Because that could have happened too, I felt like. All right. Okay. Oh, here we go. Stitches are starting to come up. So I put some extra reinforcement stitches at the corners. And now I have to pick them out. And these are like not coming out very well. Okay, here we go. All right, I think I got them. Hopefully, I think I got this. Okay. So now I can see what this actually ends up looking like. Hopefully it's okay. Oh my gosh, look at all this loose thread too. All right, this is gonna be a lot of stuff. All right, lots of loose thread here. Well, I can personally attest to the strength of glide thread. It's pretty good here. It is pretty good, okay. It's strong thread. It's not coming out very easily. All right, so here's my other line of stitching. All right, I'm gonna get the lint roller and just clean everything up here. Let's see if I can get some of this. There's just thread everywhere. All right, so now the pouch should be a little bit bigger, noticeably larger. So we're gonna try to turn this right side out again. Okay, let's turn this right side out again, and then we'll see if there's like a pretty big difference. And there should be a fairly noticeable difference in the project. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, let's see here. Moment of truth here. Moment of truth. Okay. All right, is this gonna look okay? Ooh, I don't know. All right. At least I have my seam ripper out in case I need it again. Hopefully that's a no. Okay, I'm gonna poke this out. Okay, good. There's really the needle holes really aren't noticeable too much, so it should be okay. There we go. Oh, are they? I know. I feel like I think if I steam the fabric, it'll sort of go away. So I think if I steam the fabric, I'll try that. And then we'll see if it kind of helps. Yeah, this pouch is definitely like a bit wide, a bit like bigger now. So that's what I was hoping for. Also, I need to trim this thread here. Okay, let's trim this. There's a little thread poking out here. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, yeah, this is definitely a little bit larger now. And then I think if I steam it, I can still see the needle holes, but I think if I steam it, it'll be okay. What do you think? Do you have any tips for getting out needle holes? I'll iron it and see what happens. Do a little pressing. Yeah, this shape is definitely better than before. Before it like didn't have as much of a like rounded bottom, and that was bad. So we'll finish this one up. Let's try to press this. All right, the part with the zipper tab looks pretty good. Actually, I'm going to use this to sort of poke this out. So one thing you can do with your seam ripper is if it has a cap like this, you can sort of use it, like this is fairly small, so I can use it to sort of poke out little areas. There we go. That actually looks pretty good. Yeah, this definitely looks better than it did before. And now, yeah, now I've got quite a bit more space. There are still some threads, kind of loose threads sort of peeking out. So I'm going to just cut them, and then I'm going to try to press the pouch and see if that kind of helps with the needle holes. I'm going to see if that works. I don't know. Let's see here. Because I feel like steam will sort of close it up. I don't know. Let's try it. Yeah, that actually does seem to be helping a bit. I think that's okay. Let me try to go. Yeah, it seems to be helping a little bit. Yeah. All right, let me try to, all right, actually, I have an idea. I'm going to sort of place it on the mat like this, and then I'll sort of, because I kind of want to steam the holes shut, if that makes sense. I don't know if that'll work. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this definitely is better. All right, yeah, that's way better. All right, hopefully that's good. And I'm gonna try to lint roll this area. All right, let's try to lint roll this, get any loose threads out. I mean, you know what? Worst case scenario, I could just make another one. But yeah, this does seem to be helping. So I think this is, there goes my lint roll. I think this is pretty okay. Okay, but I'm gonna try to press this out, and then we'll just sort of, it's really just on this side, mostly. So I'm going to like, try to steam this a bit. Yeah, this is definitely helping about a bit. So I know it's not super noticeable, hopefully. All right. Yeah, the sides are good. This area is pretty good. You know, and I have an idea. Maybe I'll try to get this wet too. Let me spray it with some water. Let's see if that helps. All right, so I'm going to try to spritz this with a little, I don't know if this is a good idea. And I feel like if I get it wet, okay, maybe it'll kind of help too. Yeah, this is definitely helping, I think. All right, let's do this. All right, and it'll dry eventually. Yeah, okay, yeah, the water is definitely absolutely helping. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's, I should probably get a paper towel to clean this up. All right, yeah, everything's sort of wet here. Oh boy, yeah, everything's wet. I will make some more of these pouches then. All right, so I've got 2 more of the small pouches to go, so we'll finish those. Okay, got some paper towels. I made a little bit of a water mess over here. That's all right. All right. But yeah, I kind of wanted to spritz, actually I'll spritz it into the trash can. There we go. All right, yeah, this water tip, this is kind of working. There we go. All right, so yeah, if you want to get needle holes out, okay, yeah, the water is making a huge difference. Okay, so spritz it with water. Spritz your project with water and press it. And that seems to actually be doing something. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely kind of closing up the needle holes, so that's good. All right. All right, this is getting kind of weird here. That's all right. All right here. All right, so I spritzed it with water. And this like absolutely made a big difference. So I'll spritz it with water, and then, yeah, try to press it if you can, and that should help too. So steam, I'll steam it. Let's see, did this? Okay. All right. All right. This will use this little sleeve roll, and I will press. Let's put this on the floor. All right, I'll press out this area here. Okay, that seems to help a little bit. Okay. Okay, yeah, the needle, now you can really not see the needle holes. Okay, that seemed to be a fairly good tip there. Okay, we try to press out the rest of this project. All right. All right, it's looking pretty good, I think. All right, yeah, that seemed to really work for the needle holes. Okay, so good to know. Well, kind of box, let's, oh wait, I still need to close up the opening, so I'm actually not even done yet. But let me press the corners a little bit. We'll do that. Yeah, getting it wet seemed to really help. Okay. All right, so we'll work on the, we'll go ahead and also close up the opening here. All right, let's press this, give it a good pressing here. All right, so pull out the lining. All right, yeah, I think the needle holes are pretty much, all right, yeah, that seemed to do a good job. They're pretty much non-existent now. Okay, so that's a good thing. So we got almost 3 done. Now we're gonna pop open this lining and then we'll sew this up real quick. Okay, yeah, that seemed to work pretty good. Yeah, you really don't notice the holes now. So that seemed to work pretty well. Steam a little more. Okay. Yeah, they're pretty much gone now. Okay, so steam and some water. That's the key. Okay, so let's close this lining up. I almost forgot about that, to be honest with you, because we had so much other drama with this one pouch. Okay, we'll close this guy up. All right, so let's pop this corner so I can sew this shut. Okay, shouldn't be too bad. Oh wait, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna press this. Okay, this one looks pretty good. Let's use a little glue. Just fold it shut. All right, we'll go back to the sewing machine and we will close this up real quick. And then we should be good with this one. Yeah, this one, we've had some drama with most of the pouches, so I don't know what's going on today. Maybe today's not my day. I don't know. All right. But yeah, the steam definitely seemed to help with the holes. Like, yeah, I can't really see them anymore, so that's a plus. That's definitely a plus. Okay. Let's go to the sewing machine and ow. I also keep hitting my knee on random stuff today, so that's also not great. Okay. All right, we're going back to the sewing machine and I'm doing about a 3 stitch length, so a 3.0 and an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And we're just going to close up this opening with some back stitching and everything. Okay. A little back stitching. All right. All right, so I think that should be good. Let's see what this looks like. All right, yeah, this looks pretty solid here. All right, let's trim off the threads. Yeah, my knee, I keep bashing into things with my knee today, so now it kind of hurts for some reason. That's, yeah. Okay. All right, here's what we got. Now let's go and tuck this in. Okay, we have this now. So the lining is all sewn shut. We're going to tuck it inside. This pouch is giving me a lot of weird drama. Hopefully, let's hope this is like close to the end of the drama. I'm also going to I'm going to press this a little bit more too. We're going to press this, I'm going to steam this a little bit more, make sure it's all nice and dry. It also might help too if you have something that you want to keep the shape. It will also help to stuff it with something. Sometimes I'll use like plastic grocery store bags, or you can stuff it with paper. If you want to press the project, it might be good. You know what, the next time I get a bunch of paper, I'll use that to press a project. And the paper will be good because it won't, you know, the grocery bag would probably melt at high temperatures, but if you use a paper or like cotton batting, that at least won't melt, so you won't be in danger of that. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Yeah, the holes, okay, yeah, the holes have pretty much disappeared. I need to be more careful with my seam allowances though moving forward. I think that would really help. All right, let's just press this a little bit more. Just I feel like this one is having trouble taking shape here. All right, so let's clip the next few pouches. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll finish the next few pouches. So we'll try to finish all the small ones tonight. We'll do that. What do you think? So we got 3 of these guys so far. Let's see here, 3 of these guys. And then we've got 1 of the big one. All right, so I have 4 done. I have 6 more to go. So I have 2 more of the small ones and then 4 more of the large ones. The large ones, in some ways, they're easier because I'm not working with in such a tiny cramped space. So the large ones actually, in terms of difficulty, the large ones are actually in some ways easier. They just take more fabric and materials and stuff. All right, so let's work on this. Let me get my clips here. We got lots of supplies out here. I'll probably use the paper towel. I like to reuse paper towels, which probably sounds super strange. I do. Like, I'll use it to like dry my hands and then I'll leave it on the counter, let it dry, and I'll keep using it. I don't know if that makes me a freak. Who knows? Water. Okay. So let's start clipping these together. So you got to do right sides together of the lining and the main fabric. Okay. Let's see here. And then the zipper teeth, you want the zipper teeth, so see the zipper teeth are facing away from the main fabric. You want them to stay that way. So they should be facing towards the lining. So it'll take you, and because the zipper is curved, this whole project is going to be also like curvy. Okay. Yeah, Krabby Dragon, I might try that. I'm always running out of paper towels so fast. Oh, Leilani, okay. Yeah, sometimes I'll do that, and I know it's like weird. So here's a couple other hacks for all the fellow cheapskates out there. All right, I have a rabbit. Her name is J-Hop, and every day I give her some fresh greens, like a little salad for a rabbit, and I give her some cilantro. So we have some rolls of paper towels like this, but I've also purchased in bulk the C-fold, like they're like the commercial paper towels, like the ones for restaurants and businesses. So I have a big box of that, and then we have a dispenser, and you can just pull them out. So what I will do is I will like serve my bunny her salad on 2 of those paper towels. So I'll set those down. She'll, and I do that just so, because I wash all the lettuce and stuff. So then when I give it to her, I don't, it's going to be wet. So the paper towel is to soak up all the water. So I will actually let those paper towels dry. This is how weird I am. Let them dry. Later on that night, when I'm cleaning out her litter box, I will then use those same paper towels to dry out her litter box. So we're getting double duty out of those. So first they're used to serve the bunny her little breakfast or lunch, and then later on I use them to dry out. So I wash out the litter box, and then I use those paper towels to dry the litter box. So there's 2 parts. My bunny's litter box has like a little plastic grate on it. Don't worry, it's not harsh on her feet, and they're very soft, and it's, but the openings are small enough that she won't get stuck in it, so don't worry about that. And then there's like the main pan. The other thing is, all of those paper towels I've kind of left out and I've been drying my hands with all day. I'll also use those to dry out the main part of the litter box. So, paper towel confessions, that's me. I don't know, nobody really needed to hear that story, but, we're here and I'm telling it. All right, so I'm going to kind of poke everything out, start lining everything up. So you're going to sort of pull everything out. And then let's see. Oh, and I also like to trim down the seam allowance a little bit on the main fabrics, because it's so thick. So I figured it would kind of help with bulk and everything. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit, to a 1/4 of an inch, something like that. Yeah, I recycle paper towels. I also use plastic grocery bags as trash can liners in bathroom garbage cans and stuff like that. Oh, let me put this down so you're not seeing that the trash can has been in full view the whole time. All right, so we won't do that anymore. All right, so I got all of these. Oh, one more trimmed. I actually might trim the lining. I'll try trimming the lining a little bit, just so it's not so raggedy. I don't know. I'll just trim this a tiny bit. The lining fabric is thinner though, so it won't be as bulky. But some of the edges are a little raggedy, so we'll just trim those a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and we'll throw those out. All right, yeah, I didn't want the trash can. All right, I don't think you can see the trash can. All right, yeah, I think it's pretty much out of view, so that's good. So at least you won't be like, why is that trash can there? I don't know. All right, so we'll line up the corners. And if you watched before, I've explained this more than once, but I know there's new people coming in and out all the time, so I'll kind of keep explaining things. So I'll kind of start out with the middle section here. We'll start out with that. And I like to sort of line up, let's see here. Actually, first we'll start with the side with the zipper tab on it. So again, the zipper teeth should be facing the lining. All right, and then I try to line up the fabrics so that everything's even. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, sometimes it's okay. I'm going to use a bunch of clips. Okay, we got lots of clips here. All right, and I'll actually take away the, I don't really need the pressing mat right now, so we'll take that away. All right, so I start off at the side centers and then I clip it. And then I'll do the corners, the boxy corners, and then I will do like the rest of it. And then I'm gonna leave about 3 inches, about 3 inches for turning in the lining. So right here, we're not gonna sew, so we're gonna sew about here. All right, so let's line these up. And the smaller one is actually more difficult to do, weirdly enough. I think because it's just a smaller area to work with. I think it's something like that. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure my zippers lined up as well. All right, let's make sure the zipper teeth are somewhat together. And then you see where these fabrics meet up? I want those to match as well so that when I sew them, they're somewhat even. So sometimes it doesn't always work out. Sometimes it lines up better than other times, but you never know. Okay. And then this pattern is a 1/4 inch seam allowance, or a 1/2 inch seam allowance, sorry. So this pattern is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Because I got this lined up. Let me just make sure. Okay. That looks pretty good. Probably could be a little bit better. I mean, you could really be like super nitpicky about it. It really depends on, you know, it really depends on like how particular you are about things. Okay. But if you're not super particular, then just do you. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, I'm trying to make sure you all can see it. And then the seam allowance for everything should be facing the main fabric too. Okay, so that looks good. So let's do the corners. And for the corners, I like to nest the seams and have the seam allowances go in opposite directions. That way you'll get pretty matched up seams here if you do that. Okay. Then add a clip here. And these are just generic clips from Amazon. I do have Wonder clips as well, but most of these are just the generic ones. I find they work pretty much the same, so you can really go for whatever. Okay, so we'll do this guy. All right, do this other corner, and yeah, well, the seam allowances go in opposite directions. Okay. Go. Add a clip. So we'll do 2 of these at a time. That might work, I don't know. And then 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. Yeah, so the problem I had with the other one is that I went a little wild with the seam allowance, so it was a little bit bigger than I initially wanted to. So, but I think I fixed it pretty well, so seems to be okay. Okay, yeah, the bottom of that looks okay. All right, so now I'll do the corner of, and once you get the corners done, the rest of this is kind of a breeze to line up. All right, let's see here. So again, I'm lining up I'm nesting the seams here. All right, and then I'm adding more clips as I go. Okay, lots of clips here. So the reason I'm doing 2 at a time too is because I only have so many clips, so I probably can't do all of them with the amount of clips I have. All right, I got 1 more of these. All right, I just need to be a little more careful with my seam allowance. I got to keep a better eye on that next time. But you live and learn. All right, and then pop this together. All right, and I'll just mark a little line for where I'm not going to sew as just a little reminder. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm just making myself a little reminder. Oh, and also your zipper has to be open for this too. So don't close the zipper up for this part. Oops, okay, one of my clips popped out. Oh, yeah, so this is my original Wonder brand clip, and after a while, this little bottom part breaks, so you have to toss them. So they kind of only last so long. But I mean, I've had them for a few years. I think there's just, you know, with the stress on them or something, over time, you know, they just wear out. So that's all right though. They're, you know, the generic ones are very cheap, so that's fine. Okay. All right, we'll do the other one and then we'll sew these together. Then we'll have 5 of the small ones done. So then I only have to make 4 of the big ones. Okay, so this one is ready to sew. All right, that one's ready to sew. All right, let's get this ready. Okay. All right. Sort of pop this out. You see how I'm sort of like popping it out like this? So again, this looks like sort of a little bowl at this point. And it'll make it easier to line up, and it'll make it a little easier for you to sew. Okay. So we'll do... Oh yeah, and I forgot I was going to trim. I almost forgot I was going to trim the seam allowance. So let's trim the seam allowance. And this just it reduces the bulk a little bit so the project looks a little neater. And there's not like big bulges in the project, so this just sort of helps with that. Just gonna cut these guys. Yeah, this is taking me so freaking long to do this project. I don't know what's going on, guys. All right, a few more of these. All right, we'll see. All right, so now it's time to start lining everything up and clipping it. Man, I did not get much sleep last night either. I fell asleep around like 2, and then I woke up at 7. So not a lot of sleep last night for sure. Ugh, that kind of stunk. That's all right though. Okay, got one clip in. Got this side. This part's a little tricky. Okay, part looks pretty okay. All right, gotta move that down a little bit. All right, this matches up fairly good. Has anyone here made the Noodlehead petal pouch before? Have you made other Noodlehead patterns? If so, what's your favorite one? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, let's do the corners here. All right. see how this guy, I feel like I need to stuff this one. Heck, maybe I'll stuff it with the paper towel. Let's see here. Actually, yeah, we'll stuff this one. Stuff it with a couple paper towels. Let's do that. All right. We'll try that. Maybe that'll help this. Maybe that'll help this one dry. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's give that a whirl. All right, we are getting close to going back to the sewing machine too. Once we get this all clipped up, this isn't so bad. All right, oh, this clip is, yeah, so these are, again, my original Wonder clips. All right, so check this out. When you start to clip, yep, see this kind of breaks off. This has happened to a lot of my original Wonder clips. They were kind of expensive too. So that's why I decided to just get the generic ones this time around. Because, yeah, I remember, yeah, they were kind of a lot of money, I think. Let's try this. Put a couple more clips in here. Good. Okay. All right, I'm also gonna mark for my start and stopping points on this guy. So maybe like here, maybe like here, something like that. Okay, that should be good. Okay. All right, I think we're ready to sew these up. All right, let's head back to the sewing machine. All right. We are doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance, back stitching, beginning and end, lots of back stitching in fact. And I'm also going to be reinforcing some of the more like high stress areas with extra stitching, such as the parts where the zipper tape is, and then on all of the corners, I'll do a little bit of back stitching. But unlike the last one, I need to make sure I am not, I kind of deviated a little too much from the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and that ended up being kind of bad. So we're going to be a little more careful with that this time and make sure that it's all good. Okay. All right. So, all right. And that somehow got the clip in it. I don't know what happened here. Okay. Projects for me are a little bit harder to maneuver just because it's kind of a tight, you're kind of in a tight spot here, if that makes sense. All right, we're going to do lots of back stitching. Okay, back stitching again. Okay, going around. And if you have to stop, make sure your needle is down. That'll help you. Okay. All right, yeah, I gotta be more mindful of my seam allowance here. All right, so at this corner, I'm gonna back stitch a little bit just to give it a little extra reinforcement. We'll do that at all the corners. Okay. All right, stop with the needle down. I'm gonna put my clip cup here. All right, and at this part, it's a little bit tricky because it's almost like a V you're sewing. So this part's gonna be, it's just gonna be a little tough. All right, and I am gonna back stitch a little bit here for, I'm gonna do some reinforcement stitches here just because this is gonna be kind of a high stress area for the pouch. So we're gonna, and then you kind of have to pivot it to make sure it, there we go. 1, 2, 3, do a little back stitching. Okay. All right. All right, so again, I'm being a lot more careful about my seam allowance now because I definitely messed up the last one. So I want that to be a 1/2 inch seam allowance for sure. And mine was just too big. All right, I'm gonna stop talking for a little bit and just finish this up. Plus my voice is starting to get a little bit hoarse, so we'll do that. Trim these stitches. Let's clip the thread too, just so this thread doesn't get in the way. I always like to trim my thread sort of as I go. All right. All right, let's keep going. All right, making sure this is really a 1/2 inch seam allowance because I do not want to mess this one up. All right. Yeah, this one, I can definitely tell this one's a lot better. All right, so again, oh, you know, I did forget to reinforce the stitches here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that too at the end. All right, at the end, we'll go back to that area and do that. So I'm just sort of going over this area again. I totally forgot to do that one part. So, but we will do that just for some extra security there. Okay. Ah, this part's gonna be tricky for sure. All right, so here we go. So again, you're gonna need to be very careful here. Back stitch. All right, go up to this line here, and then when I get to like this little line here, I'm going to pivot it just because this, again, this is sort of a V, so this will work out a little better if you do that. Okay, so do a few stitches, back stitching, and then keep going. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to reinforce this corner here and go forward. And then here is my stopping point that I marked. So I'm not going to sew past this point. All right, lots of back stitching. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to that one area that I missed and reinforce the stitches. And I'll show you what that looks like. So you see here at this corner here, so there's stitching, and then there's repeated stitching here from the back stitching, and hopefully that kind of helps keep the project a little more secure at that point. All right, so I'm just going to do that same thing about here. Okay. Okay, and just sort of go over this line. Okay, that should be fine. And you just want to do it one more time. Okay. All right, so let's trim this and then we'll work on the other one. All right, lots of sort of like a spider over here. All right, lots of thread to trim. Let's see. All right. And actually, I'm going to go over this area one more time because I feel like I went a little off kilter here. So I think I am going to rip that stitch right there. But I'm going to do this one more time. I should have just back stitched here, but I didn't really notice it. I'm just going to do one more line of stitching over here. there we go. All right. I'm probably going to rip a few stitches out, not many, but a few. Okay. All right, let's work on the next piece. Okay, we'll start about here. Remember, lots of back stitching. Let's remove this clip. Ah. All right. Let's stop here with the needle down. All right, and here I am going to reinforce the section. So I'm going to do a few back stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that should be good. Keep going. Okay, 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, I'm trying to get this. This one's okay. Here we go. It's a little. This part's a little tricky. All right, little tricky here. Okay, should be all right. All right, needle down, pivot. Okay. I'm gonna trim this thread too, so just so it doesn't get in the way. Up, okay, and my snips, okay, my snips just fell on the floor. Okay, well that was fun. Hopefully they didn't get damaged, hopefully. Ah, I really like these snips too. Okay, so we're gonna pivot. Also make sure that nothing is getting caught up in the fabric. I think it's good. All right. I'm gonna do a few back stitches here. Okay, keep going. Okay, and again, I'm trying to keep this, I keep maneuvering and repositioning this every little bit, just so that, make sure I'm on track here. All right, let's back stitch. All right, move clips. All right, and you see how this fabric is starting to sort of shift? I need to, if you need to hold it, reposition and hold it a bit. All right, reposition and hold. All right, we're almost to the stopping point. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go back and trim these up and get these turned right side out. All right, I think we're looking pretty good here. Okay. All right, so there's one line of stitches that I want to take out. So you can see here, my stitching kind of went astray here, so I want to remove that, and then I made some new stitch lines. So I'm gonna stitch rip a few of these guys. Okay, so let's just remove this. This shouldn't take as long as the last time because I only have a few to do, so it won't be that many. Okay. All right, not too many here. All right, I think that'll be good. I don't need to remove too many. So now we will trim the seam allowances. Well, actually, before that, yeah, we'll trim the seam allowances. Okay. So we're gonna use my serrated scissors here. Hello, everyone. All right, I'm gonna trim this down, and I'm gonna check this too to make sure there's nothing. Before you trim the seam allowance, it's a good idea to check just to make sure everything is sewn the way you actually wanted it. So if you notice any weird spots or areas you need to redo, you can do that now. I think everything looks okay on my end. The back, no puckering, no nothing. This area looks okay. But you see how I kind of sewn a V shape because that's because of the curved zipper. So your project will look like this. That's how it's supposed to look. Let me check this, make sure there's no, and I really want to look for any puckers, especially around this area. If you get them, that's where you're going to get them. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's trim this. I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to trim this down pretty far this time. I think that'll kind of help. Okay. Especially at the side centers because there's so much bulk there. So we'll trim this down quite a bit. Okay. All right, and I'm going to stop. I'm not going to trim where I turned everything. So at this spot where I'm going to be closing up the lining, I am not going to trim there because I'm going to need this fabric here. I'm going to need all of that seam allowance. Okay. And by the way, Crabby Dragon, is that how you pronounce it? Is it like Crabby Dragon or is it like Crabbe Dragon? And hi, Jamie. I see you, Jamie. I see you in here. Thank you for watching. Hope you're having a good week. Hope everyone's having a good week in here. I know it's only Wednesday, but hey, we're halfway through. We're trimming this up. So once we get these done, then I'll have all of the small, I can't believe it, I'll have all of the small ones done. And I've also learned that I should have picked a less time-consuming pattern for things to sell. But that's, hey, you know what? You live and learn. Now I know. Now I know. Okay. All right, so we're going to get all these scraps wiped away here. Yeah, so sewing the bigger ones, honestly, is going to be, I think it's going to be easier. That'll be good. All right, so let's turn these right side out here. Yeah, these scissors are, I've been using them a week. After a while, your hand does get fatigued, but, you know, I haven't run across a pair of scissors that really helps with that. So I can't really fault Kai for that. Pretty much all scissors do that. Let me get out the pressing mat. Going to. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm sort of drawing in where the seam line would have been, and then I'm going to press that in. About here, something like that. Not too exact. Okay. All right, so, all right, let's see. Hopefully the iron gets hot soon. And get my lint roller too. I have stuff all over the place. Okay. I'm in my sweatpants. I wanted to call this show Sewing in Sweatpants. I don't know if that's a good name. So right now it's live from the sewing room. And so in the title of this live stream, it says day 3. I decided I'm going to kind of number all of these shows in chronological order to sort of document how many days I'm spending live in the sewing room. So, you know, so from here we'll go up like 3, 4, 5, 6, 800, whatever. Just to kind of label each show, and just, you know, just to, for our own reference, just to know how many shows we've done. So I'm going to keep numbering all of these like live sewing sessions, you know, just for fun. Plus, I thought it would be kind of a neat way to, you know, sort of label all of these live streams. So that's what we're doing here. All right. Okay. We're making progress. I mean, and I didn't think I was going to be able to do this today, but my dentist appointment ended at like 12:30, no, like 1 o'clock. So really, I still had a lot of time left, and I'd put on some makeup already. So I was like, all right, well, I'm kind of ready to, you know, do some on-camera stuff. So we'll do a live stream, because I already, you know, why let this go to waste, right? I don't know. All right, we'll do the other one first before we start pressing everything really. Yeah, these things, it's funny how these projects look so weird before you actually turn them right side out. Like this does not look good right now. Like it'll look good at the end, but when you're still in the process, this always looks kind of weird, like just not very attractive. Okay. But then it'll turn into this. Yeah, I definitely need to like press this. This will look a lot better once it's pressed, honestly. Okay. So like pressing. Yeah, actually stuffing it seems to be good for pressing. Okay. This will look better at the end, I think, once we kind of do everything to it. All that stuff. I mean, this looks at least as good as something you'd find at Target, right? I don't know. All right, more lint roller stuff here. You know, I'll just keep the lint roller on the table. I think that will make sense. Okay. And I don't even know who I'm talking to. I guess there are 7 people watching. I mean, I'm really just like talking to myself for the most part, I guess. I don't know. Talking to myself. That's what I do here. I mean, I would probably be talking to myself anyways, even if I was not doing a live stream. But hey, whatever. It's cool. And we're going to sort of line this up here. All right, so now we can start turning these right side out. Hopefully I don't notice any weird mistakes. So let's, like, fingers crossed, everybody. All right. Yeah, I came up, I used leather tape to baste the pieces to the zipper tape. That worked really well, but it does take a long time. So that was interesting to find out. We've learned some things on this journey together here. We have. Oh. All right, let's see how this one, I hope this looks not, oh, check this out. these sides lined up okay, so this is what you want. You want these sides to really be lined up. This one actually looks, let's see, pretty dang good, I think. I think these sides look good. Let's see the other side. This is what we want. Okay, this side looks pretty good too. Okay. All right. It's looking pretty good. So this is also what you want. You see the zipper tab, the end, and because the seam allowance was so wide, you don't like, there's really less bulk in this corner because of the way the pattern is designed, which is a cool thing. So shout out to Noodlehead for the pattern design. Oh wait, yeah, and you can actually stick this out the side. All right, good to know. But yeah, you can kind of pop this out, sort of make it, if you want to try to do that. Let's try to do it for this one. Let's see here. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, these zippers are really nice. And by the way, I got the zippers from Wawak Sewing. Their prices were really great on the zippers. So not sponsored or anything, but shout out to Wawak for having really amazing prices for metal zippers. All right, this one's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this one. I'm not noticing any like weird flaws or mistakes or anything. Okay, here's where I restitched that one line. Okay, yeah, this looks pretty good. All right, I think this one looks, okay, this one's definitely, oh, shoot. Excuse me, this one definitely looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way this one turned out. Yeah, the shape is good. So these are about the same size. Yeah. This one I think could be poked out a little bit more, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I like this one. This one turned out really good, I think. All right, so I need to, all right, so I got everything kind of poked out. Yeah, this one I definitely think needs to, this one is driving me crazy because I feel like it just needs to be pressed really well because I sprayed it with the water. But I did actually get the needle holes to like pretty much disappear, so that's a good thing. But I really want to, I should get some plastic grocery bags and really stuff this, and I think that would help. All right, lots of lint rolling here. All right, so this one looks pretty good. So let me pull the lining out and then we will, yeah. Oh, and actually I'm gonna press this little area too. So this little area where the zipper ends, it kind of helps, I found, to press this. So I'm using my sleeve roll here and I'm just pressing it just to sort of push that bulk down because there is a bit of bulk at this seam. There's a lot meeting up here. So, oh, okay, wow, that zipper is super hot. I just burned myself on a zipper. So I'm going to just pull, yeah, this one, I'm gonna stuff this one with lots of paper and then I'll press it. So we'll stuff that, we'll press it, hopefully it'll be good. Be good, okay. Yeah, this one needs to kind of shape up a little bit, I think. It'll be all right though. All right, so, all right, let's pull the lining out of this and then we'll sew these up together and then we'll have 5 pouches, actually 6 if you count the big one. So we'll have only 4 more to go. So we're doing pretty good, guys, today. We're doing good. All right, so let's pull this out a bit. And get rid of this. This is like whack, whack. I don't know, this is weird. Woo! What do you guys do with, like, I don't know, what else are you supposed to do with this? This also has an eye, I think this has like an eyelash on it. That's weird. I don't know. Sort of like a salami, you can throw it. It could be like a self-defense weapon or something. I don't know. All right, let's pull this out and then, all right, so really pop this lining out. And then you should be able to pull it out enough that you can, yeah, so you're gonna be sewing this, and I'm gonna use some glue to just sort of glue baste it. By the way, I only have like 5 of these glue bottles left, so if you want one, I would get it soon, because I haven't been able to get any more. So what I have is what I have for maybe forever. So if you do like these glue bottles, I have 5 left, and that's all I can guarantee. So just to let you know. These have been like super popular in the Etsy shop, which is the sponsor of this live stream. Okay, here we go. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for a minute and we'll do the other pouch. All right, let me kind of trim this a little bit. And then we'll close these up and then we'll have 5 of the small ones all done. Okay, got this guy. Yeah, I think these look good. I think these two came out really good. Let's see, and this has got a little thread on it or something. Yeah, this one needs to be pressed really bad though, so that's something we gotta do. Gotta press this really nicely. All right, this one looks pretty good though as well. Aren't these cute? I just like these pouches. This pattern is really good. It's very time consuming. And as far as selling things for profit, I think this was a bad pattern to choose just because doing the curved zipper tape is a lot more time consuming than just doing a straight, like inserting a zipper straight. So in hindsight, this is not a good project for like craft fairs and stuff, unless you can figure out a way to make these super fast, but it's just taking me a really long time. So this has not been an ideal project for me in terms of making things to sell. So just a hint, it's fun. They're fun to make and they look really cute, but the time investment is, in my opinion, way too much for you to at least for me to make any sort of living wage while I'm making these. So I did the math yesterday and I'll make like $4 an hour if I sell these for $45 a set. So not so hot, but you live and learn. So it's a good lesson, life lesson for me. Okay, so we're gonna poke this out. Yeah, this is starting to come together here. Yeah, this one looks pretty good so far. Okay, yeah, this is lined up really, okay. These edges lined up really nicely too. So this looks pretty good. Pretty good. The zippers are all pretty even. Not like too many issues with that. Zippers look good. Zipper tape, seam allowance is pretty even. Okay, so we're gonna pop this out a little bit more. So again, I can use stuff like this seam ripper, like the blunt edge, to sort of poke out this area to make it look a little bit better. So you can do that. I am gonna press this area here just to flatten it a little bit. So yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. All right, we'll have to do the other ones. Maybe I can get these listed in the Etsy shop by this weekend. So I have to take, the other thing is I have to take photos of everything and then come up with a like description and everything else. And then also come up with disclaimers like these items are handmade, so they won't be exactly alike, pattern placement may differ, all that kind of stuff. So there's still a lot to do in terms of that. So I gotta figure that. Yeah, this one I really need to press this a little bit better. This is driving me nuts, guys. This is driving me nuts. Okay. Driving me crazy. Yeah, I think really need to stuff this and then I'll press it. Actually, yeah, if you want to press it, stuff it with cotton batting, stuff it with brown paper, and then press it, and it should look a little bit better. All right, let's line this up. Here we go. Also, I found out the hard way, this fabric is like polyester or something. It's not wool. And this has actually melted onto my iron. So this fabric. So note to self, just use the white cotton side and life will be better for you. Okay, so we're gonna flatten this and then press this a little bit to flatten it out here. And it'll look a little neater. Okay, and don't touch the zippers because it's gonna be super freaking hot. Okay, that looks better. Okay, so, oh, here's a loose thread here. I really need to press this. This is driving me crazy. Okay, so we're gonna poke this out. Yeah, I think this one looks pretty good. And notice, like with my nesting technique for sewing this, notice how all of these lines like are totally squared with each other. So these boxy like corners, everything's totally even. So this is perfect. They all match up, perfect point. This is what you want. So all of this lined up great. All right, so let's pull out the lining and we'll close that up too. All right. Here's my sewing report label, super cute. Okay. All right, now we just have to close this up here. Okay. Again, this might take a little bit of like maneuvering, this part. So I'm just sort of pulling this out. Okay, here we go. It'll take you a little bit to sort of figure out this part. Okay. So I press this good. Put a little glue in there. And this is just Elmer's washable school glue. This is nothing fancy. Elmer's washable school glue, I was told, is basically just starch. So it's non-toxic and it washes out of your project. So if you were, so this is totally harmless. So if water hits it, this glue washes away. So that's a good thing about using Elmer's Glue-to-Baste. It's really cheap. It's water soluble, washes away. Yeah, the only thing is it only works on natural fibers, so it'll work on like cotton, some cotton blends. It works on rayon, it works on linen. It will not work on like highly polyester or synthetic fabrics. So it's great for quilting or like little quilting projects. This would not work though if you were trying to glue-based polyester fabric, just a no-go there. But I use this stuff all the time here at the Sewing Report. All right, let's go back over to the sewing machine and we will close up these linings here. Oh, we're getting there. We are getting there. Okay. Ah. Okay. I'm going to trim these threads. Got that guy. I'm actually going to leave this attached for now. All right, let's get this one. All right, I think that's good. All right, I think we're good here. All right, let's trim these threads, trim all of the threads, right? All right, let's trim this one. I can hear my husband talking to randos online in the next room. It's kind of funny. But hey, I'm talking to people online too, I guess. So who's to judge, right? All right, we should be done. We are done. Okay, at least done with these. We still have a lot of other stuff to do. All right, hey. We've got the linings all finished, closed up. Let's put these into the pouches. See, they fit really nicely. And if you were kind of new to tuning in, I cut my linings. So if I'm tracing and cutting out a pattern, I will cut out the main fabric just outside the pattern lines, and then I will cut the lining fabric just inside, so the lining ends up being a tiny bit smaller. And I personally have found that that helps my linings look a little bit neater inside the finished project. Like, it's not baggy or super loose. Like, my linings here are pretty neat, and it doesn't look too oversized. So that's just something I do. You can do it if you want to. You obviously don't have to, but that might help. If you're finding that you have linings that are just really getting, like if the lining starts getting all saggy in here, you know what I'm talking about. But this lining actually looks pretty, just kind of neat, snug, fits into there. Because that's the thing, when you are sewing the project, the lining, the main fabric is just kind of on the outside, but then when the lining is on the inside, but it's cut the same size, it's gonna be a little baggy. So that's what I do. All right, let's work on, all right, so we'll tuck this in and then we'll work on the, but yeah, these look so good. I do need to press these. I definitely need to press, this one's driving me freaking insane, but I need to press this one real good. Let's see here. I stuffed it with a paper towel already. All right. Looks pretty good. I just definitely need to press this. All right, let's tuck this guy in too. So the last thing you just have to do is tuck in this lining. All right, and then, yeah, kind of poke it into the corners here. Make sure those are kind of popped out here on nicely. But yeah, here are the 5. All right, we got 5 of the little ones done. All right, so, and we're on day 3. Technically day 4 because I did some prep work one day. All right, so here are the 5 small pouches, all finished. I definitely, yeah, this is the one I need to press. I mean, this one doesn't look too much smaller. Like, yeah, they're about the same size, I think. I think they're pretty good. Aren't these cute? So I picked this, it's like pink, orange. It's like kind of a dark orange and gold, different shades of pink. It's really cute. And then the inside is this natural colored canvas with metallic lining. All right, so now we're moving on to the larger pouches. So I already made one because we did that, was it yesterday, as just an example. So we need to attach the zipper. We need to attach the main pieces. So I've already marked out which ones are going to be my front pieces and which ones I want for the back. So I kind of came up with a method yesterday that seemed to work for me okay. So we'll keep going with that. It does involve using this leather tape here. So that will be in heavy usage for this particular part of the project. Okay, so, all right, yeah, I'm trying to, all right, so this is going to be my, oh wait, these are the back pieces. Okay, so these are the backs. So the backs are the ones with the labels on it, and then the fronts, oh, and the good thing is I only have to sew 4 of these since I already sewed 1. Okay, so these are the backs, and then I need to, on these front pieces, I also need to add my little loop here. So I can't forget that, but I added it when the zipper was already on. So I'm gonna save it for that step. So we have to attach this zipper to the lining and the main pieces. So how I ended up doing that was, first I found the center of these zippers. So I kind of lined it up, made a center point, and then I'm gonna use this marking pen quite a bit. This marking pen, by the way, is air and water soluble, so it will disappear in a few days, or you can get it wet and it will disappear. So I need to find the center of the zipper. So I'm just going to mark it. And then I also want to find the center of the pieces. So I'm gonna find the center point here. Yeah, it's only been yesterday since I did this, but it feels like it was forever ago. I don't know why. All right, so I'm gonna mark center points here. Oh, and I'm also gonna need my ruler again. Okay. I also have this little clear plastic ruler that will come in handy too. And the zipper will need to have some space on either side, and the space on either side will be 3/4 of an inch. So I've been marking the center point and then 3/4 of an inch on all of the pieces, and actually on kind of both sides. So let me do that. Okay, sort of mark this. Okay, and then you know the zipper shouldn't go past a certain point. Okay, so 3/4 of an inch here. All right, put it on the back too. Okay, so here's what I ended up doing. That worked out okay. Now, this leather tape is it's a little bit, it's like a scant 1/4 of an inch. And I ended up sewing this part with slightly larger than a 1/4 inch seam allowance because you don't want this tape to get caught in the seam. So I wanted my stitch line to, I wanted my seam allowance to clear the tape that I'm putting on here. Okay, so to figure out how you need to, which direction, I know it can be a little confusing which direction you're applying the zipper. So here's how the finished project would look. So zipper, face up, left side. So I'm going to be putting it on this main fabric, like right side down, but like this. All right, so it'll go on like this. So I'm going to put some tape on here. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it'll look just like that. So I'm going to use this leather tape and then put little pieces all around here, but I'm going to stop a little bit short of the zipper pull because that, that's going to be a pain in the butt. So I'll show you what I mean later. So I'm going to put pieces of tape from here to about here. That seemed to work. This method works pretty well. It is a little more time consuming, but I did really like the accuracy, and the fabric didn't shift around or anything like that. So here's a couple tips. When you're putting the tape on, have it kind of overhang the edge of the fabric like a little bit. So you don't want it, so you want it to sort of hang off a tiny bit. That should help you a little bit. Okay, so kind of add the tape. You don't have to, it doesn't, you can kind of leave a little bit of space in between. The other thing that would be faster is if I was doing just a straight line, I could just put one piece of tape on, and that would also save me a bunch of time too. So notice I'm kind of letting it overhang a little bit just off the edge of the fabric. And that'll help you to make sure that you are actually clearing that 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and that you don't get the tape on it. Actually, I could probably use some slightly bigger pieces of tape too, so we'll try that. So I'm kind of overhanging a little bit there. This tape is super sticky. This is leather tape from Serrated. This is the only basting tape I've tried that seems to work. I tried some other basting tape yesterday and it was a disaster, so I don't recommend. I can't recommend any other brand because I haven't found another brand that works as well. All right. So I'm going to prepare a few of these at a time so I can sew them all at once over at the sewing machine. All right, so here we go. This tape is like ridiculously sticky, so just keep that in mind. Putting little pieces on here. All right, here we go. And again, I'm letting the tape sort of hang off the edge a little bit. So you're gonna put tape right up into the mark here. So put it right up to the mark here. Okay. All right, so it'll kind of go like this. And then, I'm gonna be moving the zipper pull out of the way at the sewing machine, so that's why I don't need the tape right there. All right, so this is double stick tape. So just take all the backing off. This might be a little tricky sometimes. So make sure that it's stuck pretty securely onto the fabric. All right, so we're taking off all the tape. This basting tape works extremely well. I think it was fair. I don't think it was super expensive either. And you get like a huge roll. So I think it's a pretty good, even if it was more expensive, I think it's a pretty good value, because the other rolls of basting tape I have are much tinier. So I felt like this is a pretty good, you know, definitely good value for the dollar here. And so we're taking all this tape. This tape will start to drive you crazy, but even though this takes a long time, I've noticed it saved time at the sewing machine and it gave me really good results. So in my opinion, I thought it was worth it to take the time to do this with all this nonsense with the tape. Okay, so now starting at the center point, I'm going to apply the zipper to the fabric. Again, this is why I marked the fabric, so that I could use that as a guide to tell me where I needed to put this tape. So you're going to need to be kind of careful with this. This tape definitely holds though. All right, I might need to do this section again. Okay, there you go. So check this out. So look at these results here. This looks really good and it's actually very secure. So that's what I wanted. So this will give me I believe a better result in the end. So I'm very happy with this whole thing. Okay. All right, and you can sort of reposition if you need to, but this is like really strong. Like, see how good this holds? Okay, so now you're probably like, all right, what do I do now? So now you're gonna take the lining piece, and I'm going to do the same thing, find the center point, and then I'm gonna find the, okay, so I'm gonna find the center point, and then I'll find the 3/4 inch marks on there as well. So we'll do that. All right, and actually, here we go. Where's the center point here? This got a little, this one's a little tricky because this is not interfaced at all, so this is definitely the flimsiest layer for sure. So I'm gonna find the center point using, just by folding it in half. Okay. There we go. All right, so I got my center point here. And I'll be able to see on the other side too. All right, and now I'll do the 3/4 inch mark here as well. Actually, this is going faster now that I like really know what I'm doing. This isn't so bad. Okay. So now I'll do, 3/4 inch on here. Okay, 3/4 inch. Okay. Okay, let me just mark that on the other side too. Okay, so when you put this on, and the good thing is you can sew all of these layers together and it won't shift around. You don't need any pins and you don't need any clips. So I'm going to be putting the lining on top like this. So now I know to stop the tape about like right here. So I need to put tape like kind of along here and stopping about here. All right, so I'm gonna put the tape directly onto the fabric in this situation. Okay, yeah, so because this is gonna go like this. So I'll put the tape on. Here, let me move this so you can see it. But yeah, this seemed to work. I discovered this yesterday and it seems to be a really good way of applying, of just attaching the zipper tape to this type of project. It seems to work really well. Okay, so we're just gonna get some pieces of tape here. And yeah, it is really sticky. You can sort of remove it, but it is like it's super duper sticky. So just be kind of careful. And again, I'm applying it so that it sort of hangs over the edge a little bit. So I don't want it totally, okay. So I don't want it like totally on the fabric. I'm putting it like literally right on the edge and giving it a little bit of overhang. Actually, I'm going to turn this, wait, yeah, I'll kind of mark this here so I know that this is the side I can go to, and then I'm going to turn this over. Okay, because it's just kind of easier to apply it this way for me for some reason. All right, but I know this way now is the All right, and this is, so I'm marking sort of my end points with the tape here. Yeah, this is actually going a lot quicker today. Yesterday, I was kind of trying to figure it out, and it seemed like everything was taking longer. But today is going quite a bit smoother. Okay, okay. Let's put these pieces on. Okay. So I'm just sort of putting these on the edge. This will definitely stick really well to the lining fabric. Okay, so attach all your tape. Okay, this is super duper sticky. So I'm going to do a few of these at a time, I think, and then we'll go from there. Actually, this one, I can get a pretty long stretch here. Okay, get a pretty long stretch here. So I really just need like one more piece of tape here. And then I'll show you what to do from here. Okay. All right, so same deal. Remove all of the tape backing. All right, remove all the tape backing. This is a pain in the butt every single time. Every single time. All right. Okay. But yeah, this will save you time in not having to remove all the pins or clips as you're sewing these layers together. You can sew all of the layers at once. And I find that it produced a very accurate result. So like everything looked really good. Everything was even. Like my stitching wasn't wonky. Everything looked great. All right, so we're going to take all this tape off. Actually, and you know what? I'll sew this one just so you can see what it looks like. So we'll do this one just on its own, just so that you can see the results. Okay, so be very careful with this because this is super sticky. And now you are going to put this on. So basically, yes, so center point on the zipper here. Yeah, this is super sticky. Center point on the, okay, don't worry, this will still stick. Center point on the zipper. And then you'll go around here and just apply this to the, line up this with the edge of your other two layers. Okay, here we go. Everything should line up pretty good. This looks pretty even so far. I just find, oh boy, okay, this tape kind of came off. I just find this method really produced a very nice result. Again, it is a little bit of work, so I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of time consuming, but like, check this out. You've got all of these layers taped together, and this is gonna be so much, like seriously, so much easier to sew. So no, no clips, no nothing to worry about. You can just really zip right through the sewing. I just found this is like way faster. So if you are looking for a good method, I'm going to start using this on like all zipper pouches that I'm doing from here on out. Like this is going to be my new go-to tip for sure. All right, so I'll show you, I'll do this one at the sewing machine just so you can really see what this is going to be like. So let's go over, but yeah, look at all this. This is staying together. It's not flopping out. Usually I do like to glue baste, but with the zipper tape being such a thick material, I can't glue baste that with my Elmer's washable school glue. So this is a good way of getting all these layers to stick together and having it, having a much easier time with the sewing machine. Okay, let's go over to the sewing machine and I'll sew this together just so you can get an idea of what's going on. Then we'll do the rest, okay? All right. And you'll see how much of a breeze this is using this method. All right, my bunny, I'm checking in on her. She's just like a total freak. She's just kind of sitting staring at nothing. It's really weird. All right, so I'm gonna sew. So because the tape is right here, I'm making sure my seam allowance is a tiny bit more. So here's my 1/4 inch stitch. Here's my 1/4 inch stitch line. I'm gonna have it go a little bit past that just to be sure that I don't sew over the tape. And I also have noticed the problem I ran into with one of my pouches was that the tape ended up being visible on my zipper tape, and I did not want that. Okay, oh, yeah, so I'm doing about a 3-stitch length, and I'm going to back stitch here for sure. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. All right, and we'll go forward, but check this out. Look, I am being very careful, and I'm sewing like a tiny bit over 1/4 inch. But I did this yesterday, and I did not have an issue with the tape peeking through. But look how much easier this is. Nothing's like moving around. Everything is staying where it's supposed to be. So I am like a fan. I'm a huge fan of this whole method. All right. I might do like maybe a dedicated video just on this, because this is such a cool. All right, my bunny is doing something with her cardboard boxes. I don't know. All right, so this is just over 1/4 inch seam allowance. But yeah, this, like, look how freaking easy this is. All right, so now I'm getting close to the zipper tape. So I'm just gonna lift up the presser foot and open the zipper and then keep sewing. So this is why I didn't put tape on this last part, was just because I knew I was gonna have to move everything. But it's not very hard to like just hold everything in place for those last few inches. So, okay, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna hold this in place. And then once I get close to here, I'm gonna have to push this zipper tape in a little bit just so it lines up with the rest of the layers. So here we go. Wasn't this a breeze here? This is gonna make things so much easier for me. I'm totally doing this for like everything now. Okay. All right, so back stitch. All right, and I'll show you what it looks like back at the main area here. But yeah, this looks pretty good overall. Yeah, this looks good. Looking good. All right, trim these threads. Yeah, so look how nice this looks. I didn't have any issues. I didn't have to worry about pins or things shifting around. This is great. All right, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, yeah, no tape. I don't see any tape sticking out, so the tape is totally hidden in the project. And you're not gonna have to really, like, I am gonna have to sew over this when I top stitch, but it's really not, you know, not anything to worry about. But yeah, no tape. I don't see any tape. So this method, just make sure you kind of overhang the tape on the edge of the fabric and then sew with just over 1/4 inch seam allowance. And like, look at this, beautiful. It was a little more time consuming to put on, but this looks really fantastic. All right, so the other thing I'm going to do is trim off. I feel like I'm not really going to need this. There's a little bit of zipper tab hanging out, so I'm just going to cut that off right now. The other thing I'll do right now to this piece is I'm going to baste on the like little pull tab here. So I'm just going to cut a 2.5 inch piece here. That's kind of what I figured I was going to do. So I'm using all right, and I got to figure out which side I want to be up. I think I want this side. I think this side looks better up. So I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch piece here. So about here, just cut a 2.5 inch piece. And then I'm going to make a mark that's about 3/4 inch from this seam line here. And then that's where I'm going to start the tab. Okay, so that will be about, let's see here, so about 3¼ inch. Okay, so about right here. Okay, so right here, we'll do that. Okay, so right here. Wow, it's hard for me to see, honestly. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. All right, actually, let me use these lines. This will be easier. Okay, so about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to, I'll do this right now. I'll baste this loop here. All right, so all I'm going to do, I made this the other day. I'm going to fold this in half. And then I'll figure out which side I think I want. Let's see. You have to figure out which side you want on the front. I think I want this side on the front. I think this looks cool. So I folded this in half. And then I'm just going to baste this inside. Oh, wait. Actually, I want, let's see. Okay, I want this way in. Okay, no. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, yeah, this way in. So when you flip this out, this will be on the front. So I'm just going to quickly go over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to baste this to the front piece just so I don't forget. So we'll go ahead and do that. And this will be my little loop tab on the front. That'll be really cute. And if you notice, it's the same fabric as the small pouch, so it kind of coordinates a little bit better. All right, so let's go back over to the sewing machine and we'll just baste that on real quick. I just wanted to show you how it'll look. All right. And I'm just, again, I'm going to use that 3/0 stitch length again. That should be fine. And we'll do like 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I've got it folded in half. I'm not pinning it down. I'm just going to hold it. I think it should be totally fine. And I'm just going to start it at this line here. And then we'll just put this on. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. Just make sure this is lined up the way I want. Okay. And just go at it. You could probably backstitch a bit. Oh, okay. That needs a little more support there. Okay. There we go. All right. All right, I'm going to backstitch a bit just because this is a lot of layers here. And we'll just keep going. And then I'm going to end the stitching a little bit after the tab here. So that's how you just baste on a piece like this. But it's pretty easy. All right, so now we'll go back and we'll attach more. We'll finish the front pieces and see how far we can get with those. The good thing is we only have 3 more to go, so that's a plus. Okay. So now we have this basted on. So this is going to be a loop just like this. So isn't this cute? So it's just a little extra detail. You can kind of use it to hold on to as you're unzipping it, something like that. All right, so this looks cool. So we'll attach all the front pieces onto the zipper, and then I'll baste more of these loops on, and then we'll do the back. Then we have the top stitch, and then we put the pouch together. So we'll see how far we can get. It's 7:20 at night. Wow, I've been live streaming for like almost 3 hours. I probably won't go too late tonight. I haven't eaten anything today. Maybe I'll go to like 9 o'clock. I don't know. I could eat on the stream, who knows. But we'll do a few more front pieces, but this is how the front will look. What do you think so far? I like the strawberry fabric a lot, and this is what the pouch will look like when it's done. But hopefully this will help you with more of your zippers. So I'll go through this a few times, especially for you, Leilani, if you'd like to watch. Hopefully this is helpful. Okay, so here's another front piece. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like. The zipper, I like to orient it facing up, and then the pull is on the left side, and when I put it on the fabric, I'm going to apply it like this. All right, so again, I need to find the center point for the zipper. All right, so I just fold it in half and then mark at the top fold. And that's usually fairly okay. All right, now mark the center point, oh, excuse me, for the piece. So fold this in half. Okay. mark the center here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So this is the center. And then mark 3/4 of an inch in. Okay. 3/4 of an inch in. Yeah, this tape works so well. The little pieces drive me crazy, but you know what? I think it's worth it. Okay, so, all right. So I need to put tape. Okay, so I need to put tape from like here to about here. And again, this is just leather basting tape from Serrated, Sailrite. I do have a sewing machine from Serrated. I like never use it, which is kind of a shame, but that's all right. And also, don't use your fabric scissors on this because it's super gummy. So use like your general, like crappy craft room regular scissors. Don't use your nice scissors for this because it could definitely, I could definitely see it sort of ruining those scissors or making it very, like, you're gonna have to really try to clean them. So that probably wouldn't be the best idea. All right, so we're gonna cut some, so basically I'm cutting like little pieces of it, and this is double-sided tape. Okay, and then I'm letting them, I'm putting them right on the edge of the fabric, and it's sort of gonna hang off the fabric. And the reason I'm doing this is so that it doesn't get in the seam allowance. You do not want to sew over this. So this is why I'm putting it right on the edge, because if I'm sewing about here, I want the needle to miss the tape, because I don't want the tape showing on the zipper tape. I had that issue with one of the other pouches. Luckily, I was using a different basting tape that wasn't so strong, and that one was water soluble, so it went away with the water. But this tape is like not water soluble, so that probably wouldn't be a great idea. So we're gonna apply more tape. All right, here we go. And I'm letting it sort of hang off the edge here. Okay. All right, I put like one more like little piece down, something like that. Just a little piece. All right, and I'll probably also put a little piece on the other side too. Okay, we'll do a little piece here. I feel like that's just too big of a gap there. But again, notice I'm kind of letting it hang off the side of, yeah, this is definitely gumming up these scissors too. So that is going to be kind of bad. Okay. So, all right, press down on the tape. And then pull off the paper backing here. So pull off the paper backing. Again, this is you're gonna be like, this is really time consuming. And it is, but I just find it really gave me a much better result. And, you know, I after doing this for a while, I do think it's worth it for me. And, you know, you can decide if it's worth it for you. It may not be. You may not want to do all this. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to start off in the middle. So again, this is why I marked the fabric and the zipper, just so I could have an easier time finding these points and lining them up. So I'm kind of working my way out here, and I'm being careful to, all right, yeah, check this out. Like, look at this. Look at this. All right, let's do the other side. Ah, this got caught up. All right, so I'm gonna have to, you can sort of reposition it, but it's very, very tacky. So just keep that in mind. Okay, all right, and okay, see, it actually got stuck to the zipper pull here. Okay, this is gonna be kind of interesting. Okay, so, all right, so we got this side done. Now we just have to do the back, or this is actually the front lining, but it's, you know, whatever. So So do the same thing, mark the center point and then mark 3/4 of an inch from each side. All right, all right. All right, let's see this. Okay, this looks pretty good. All right, 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And the lining fabric is going to go over on top of the zipper tape like this. So, okay. All right, so I'm going to start the tape around here. So, and again, I'm avoiding the spot with the zipper pull because I know I'm going to have to move that out of the way anyways. So it's going to be sort of a waste of time. So I'm avoiding that area. And I'm just going to do the same thing with the tape. And just start putting it on. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely getting like stuck to the scissors. Actually, I can sort of, yeah, this area will be okay. Okay. So again, I'm letting it sort of hang off the edge of the fabric. So it's not entirely on the fabric here, is what I'm saying. All right, put more tape on. And I'm leaving like little gaps, but not like large areas without tape. So the tape is on most of this. All right, so this should be good for here. Okay, put tape over here. It starts to, you know, now that I've been doing this for several hours now, like today and yesterday, it starts to get, like this whole process gets a little bit quicker. So it's not as bad. At first I was like, man, this is taking forever. But now that I'm getting into the groove of things, I'm sort of, I feel like I'm working a little bit faster in terms of just the repetition and everything. So it's not too bad. Okay. Here we go. All right, so now we got tape all over here. So I'm gonna really press the tape into the fabric so it sticks well so that the backing comes off. All right, take this off. All right, throw these little papers are such a pain in the butt though. All right, throw these out. Okay, so now, again, this is gonna stick to you a little bit. That's all right. Remove so start in the center with the mark and then apply it on top of the zipper tape. Work your way from the center out. And this should really stay down well. Like this is really, this is going to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, yeah, it's actually like it's sticking to my fingers. It's sticking to everything. Okay, so again, be careful and just keep applying it all the way down. Yeah, I mean, check this out. Like, where are you going to get results? Where are you going to get results like this? So we'll do the 3 more. But look at this. So now all of your layers are sandwiched together, but they're also very secure. So again, if you want to use this leather tape, It's a good way to avoid pins and clips and know that you're going to get very accurate results. All right, so let's do a couple more here. This looks pretty good. This looks good. All right, so yeah, I always am paranoid that I'm going to put my zipper in wrong, but so far so good. And then when you're done, you will get this. All right, so let's do a few more of these guys. Let's see, I've only got 2 more to go. So really it's not that bad. Once you kind of get in the groove of things, it just starts to get a little bit easier. So you just have to repeat all of those steps again. All right, so find the zipper center point. So Lilani, I hope this is helping you for your zipper installations. I always find little ways to kind of make things easier on myself, so hopefully this helps you. Okay. Find my zipper center point. And we'll have to do this for all of the back pieces too, so that'll be more, more time too. Okay. All right, finding the center, marking. Okay, pretty good. All right, 3/4 of an inch. Okay. All right, so the zipper will be like this. Okay. So I need tape from about here to here. Hello everyone watching. If you're kind of just joining us, I'm Jen with the Sewing Report. Welcome to Live from the Sewing Room. I'm on day 3 of making the Noodlehead Petal Pouches. It's taken me a really long time to make 10 pouches, but I am we're installing the zippers onto the front and backs of the pouches, and I am using this leather basting tape from Serrated to hold all of my fabric layers and zipper tape together, and this has been a total game changer for me. I'm going to be using up this whole roll. And this is not like sponsored or anything by Serrated. I have no business relationship with them. I bought this tape like 5 or 6 years ago at least, and I haven't really used it before. So now I've found a pretty good use for it. This is sort of gumming up my my scissors though, so you got to be careful. And I'm also applying it like kind of off the edge of the fabric. So I'm going to be sewing with a slightly larger seam allowance than the tape, so I'm not going to be sewing over the tape. So that's sort of my method for doing this and having it not be in the seam allowance, because this tape is super sticky. So this may help you. But yeah, I've been getting really good results with this, like for real. And it's really like, it takes a little bit of time to apply, but then you're saving time at the sewing machine, and I feel like you get a better result. So I'm cool with that. Okay. So here's the tape. Yeah, there's a lot of tape here. Double-sided, I tried some other basting tape yesterday, and it did not go well. The other basting tape was terrible. Did not work really at all. This is the only tape I found so far that really actually works. Okay, so I need like one more piece of tape after this. Okay. I need like one little piece. Okay. Okay. There we go. So, all right, so I'm going to really press down to make sure the tape is stuck to the fabric and then peel off the backing. So the issue I ran into with the other basting tape is that I couldn't get the paper backing off. It took forever, and it really didn't stick to the fabric and the zipper tape very well because the zipper tape is very heavy. I think if it was a lighter weight fabric, it would have been a little bit better, but it just wasn't very good. So kind of a shame because I bought like a pack of 3 and it's pretty useless. Okay. Okay. Ah. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's getting stuck to the table. All right, so starting from the center point, I'm going to be laying the zipper tape down on top, but lining up the edges and then working my way out. So start from the center and then work your way out, and that should be pretty good. So I'm going slowly. Again, I'm not the fast. So after this, I only have one more. And then we got to do the back. We have to do the backs of all of these. But again, I don't feel like this is too bad overall. Okay. All right. Oops, okay. Just got to readjust this a little bit. Okay. See how good this looks and how well it stays. Like this isn't going anywhere. It's not popping off, which is what I run into with a lot of other, methods when I'm trying to do this. So, all right. All right, now find the center on here. Yeah, this looks great. This looks really good. So after this, I got one more, and then we'll sew these 3 up. Okay. Here we go. All right, here's the center. I'm basically just finding the center by folding it in half. Okay, and then got to do 3/4 of an inch. Or I'm trying to move this so you can see everything. So 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm also going to mark the backs too. I can see through. I can really see the marks on the other side, so that should be pretty easy. There we go. Okay, so for the lining, it's going to be face down. So I don't need to apply tape near the zipper pull over here. So I'm going to start the tape, I'm going to start the tape about here. All right, get lots of tape. Okay. Okay, all right, let's do the other side. See, once you really get going with this, it moves pretty quickly. Okay. All right, got one more done. I'm gonna sort of pinch this together and then do one more. One more, guys. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna sort of redo this part right here. Okay, or not. Guess I'm not gonna redo this part. Okay. Okay, one more. Hey, and if anyone has any questions watching, let me know in the chat. I would be happy to answer. So let me know if you have any questions. Okay. All right, so okay. Okay, so Okay. Ah. All right. Well, we'll pick that up later. Oh, I think I can get it. All right, a paper just dropped. All right, so the zipper will be like this. Okay. So I'm going to start in the middle here. It'll kind of... So again, I'm lining up the center. Okay. Ah. Okay, yeah, this is super sticky, guys. Okay, so just to be really careful not to, like, get it stuck to you or anything you don't want it to stick to. Okay. Yeah, it sticks really well. So again, kind of bring it over this way. And over this way. Okay. All right. I kind of want to redo this part. I feel like, here we go. Yeah, I want this to be, there we go. That's better. Okay. All right, so now we just have to do this lining piece and we can head back over to the sewing machine. Okay. Well, hopefully this gives you some help if you are having trouble with your zippers. Because this is like my new go-to method for sure. This method is fantastic. I think my husband's eating. Are you eating potato chips for dinner? Okay. Okay. Okay, marking these up, mark the back. Okay. All right, so don't want tape on this side. Okay, so I want to start the tape around here. Oops, just dropped something. All right, dropped my glue bottle there. All right, we're almost ready to go back to the sewing machine soon, so that's exciting. All right. Okay, we're just hanging out, we're working. I really wanted these live streams to be a place for community where we could come together, where people could chat in the live chat, and it could sort of be like sewing and chill, something like that. So these aren't really meant to be like some sort of virtual workshop. This is more just a place where you can come if you just want to hang, chit chat, and sort of relax. So, and I wanted this to also be a place where anyone curious about sewing could just see more about it because I feel like not enough people know how things are made. So that's really the purpose behind Sewing Report Live. Okay. We are ready to put this piece on. Yeah, my fingers, when I'm doing this, have gotten so sticky from everything. It's kind of like, look at this. It's kind of like crazy. Okay. All right, so we're going to start in the middle here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got to get this. All right, this is really stuck to my hands. Oh my gosh. What the heck is going on here? Okay. Oh boy. All right, we are about ready to go back and sew more. That's the thing. A lot of sewing is not actually like, people think when you sew you're spending all of your time at the sewing machine. Not true. You're actually spending a lot of time pressing things, cutting things out, pre-washing your fabric, you know, doing things like this with the tape. You're ironing, you're cutting. So I don't know, what percentage of time would you say you actually spend at the sewing machine versus other activities related to sewing that are not actually sewing? I don't know. All right, so we've got all of these ready to start sewing. Okay, so let's go back there, and I'm going to do just over a 1/4 inch seam allowance, just so that I don't sew over the tape and the tape is hidden. So I've got 3 more. Then we'll come back and we'll baste more of these loops on. I don't know how long they'll stay on. I mean, I don't know. I'm not actually super hungry so far, so I don't know. We'll see. Let's go back over to the sewing machine. Okay. And you can see, because I did all of that prep work with the tape, the actual sewing part of this step is kind of a breeze. So it actually saves me a lot of time at the sewing machine by putting all my layers together with the tape. So I think that's actually turned out to be kind of a good thing. Okay, so we're going to again start stitching with slightly over a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm just kind of letting it go slightly past the 1/4 inch line. Definitely back stitching. All right, and then I don't really have to do much until I get to the zipper pull, and then I'm gonna pull that away. Okay, so you want to go just over. So I'm going right past the 1/4 inch mark. So I'm kind of going a little rogue here, but that's okay. Going a little past here. I'm watching it. Okay, and if I think it's gonna, if it's kind of veering closer to the 1/4 inch, I'll push it back out again. But I'm really watching this seam line to make sure that it's more than a 1/4 inch. Okay. Just a little more than a 1/4 inch. Okay, so now we're getting close to the zipper pull. So I'm going to leave the needle down, lift my presser foot, and then yank it open. It's a little tricky because you have to do it with all the layers and stuff, but you can definitely do it. It's just going to take you a little manhandling under here. All right. Actually, I'm going to need to lift my needle up a little bit. Okay. Okay, here we go. So see, I managed to do it. Oh wait, hope I didn't get the fabric. Thing is, I don't want to get my lining fabric stuck in there. Okay, I think I did it. Wait, did I get the fabric stuck in there? No, okay. It's not stuck in there. Okay, cool. So I'm just, so you see, I'm opening the zipper up. Okay. And now I'm just going to finish this seam. Now I can sew unobstructed. And I'm just going to hold everything together with my fingers at this point. And then I'm going to tuck the zipper tape in so it falls in line with the rest of the 2 layers. So this might take you a little bit, see? Okay, here we go. So you can just do that. And that will give you a very nice, this whole process will give you a very nice, nicely sewn on main and lining fabrics to your zipper tape. Okay, doing a little back stitching, so this should be pretty good. Let's do the other ones. I'm just gonna daisy chain these. Okay, but you can already see like this looks pretty stinking good. So I think that works. This works pretty well. So let's do the other pieces while we're here. Okay. Do this guy. But yeah, see, all this prep work just totally paid off because this is going to be such a breeze here. All right, so just sew a few stitches, back stitch, okay. And yeah, I don't really need to think too much until I get to the zipper pull. But I just have to really make sure that I am definitely past a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, and if you have to stop, stop with your needle down. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm actually going to use, you know what? I've started using like the number 1 to more line up the fabric on the 1/4 inch mark, and that seems to be working pretty good. So it's just over a 1/4 inch seam. Okay. Now we're getting to the zipper pull. Okay, so needle down, presser foot up, and unzip this zipper. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. All right, making sure this looks so crazy right now. Okay, here we go. I just want to make sure it's not caught in anything. Okay, it's not. All right, cool. So now the zipper is all the way open. Let's pop this back out. Okay. And we can sew the rest of this with the zipper tape kind of pushed in. Okay. So I'm going to, so you see how this goes? It's not too bad, right? It's not so bad. All right, so I'm going to start pushing the zipper tape in now. All right, and yeah, you'll have to really like sort of, yeah, make it go in. Make it go in. All right. And keep pushing it in as you sew. All right, don't let your finger get in there. That would be bad. Okay. You see, this is pretty spot on. And yeah, I find this method just really works for me. So if it works for you too, and this can help you, awesome. All right, one more to go. All right, one more. All right. I think my husband's eating potato chips for dinner. Fun times. That's how we roll here at Sewing Report headquarters. Chips. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can pretty much sew fairly carefree. So see, this is what you get when you don't have to worry about the pins or the clips and stuff. You get this, and this is nice. This is wind in your hair, I don't care kind of carefree. All right, we're getting to the zipper tape. All right, so again, needle up, presser foot up, and unzip. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that went pretty well. All right, now sew the rest and push in your zipper tape as you go. There we go. All right, so we got, all right, we're really pushing in the zipper tape here. Okay, and I'm trying to line up the fabrics pretty well. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, yeah. Woohoo! Okay. Well, I feel like I need to clean off the, I got some baby wipes. I feel like I need to clean off the bed of my sewing machine. Maybe we'll do that later after I get off this live stream. It's starting to, yeah, you know what? I think that's gunk from the glue. I need to clean that. So, yeah. I do have some like Goo Gone and stuff and some other like totally awesome cleaners. Maybe I'll use that. All right. We have 4 completed fronts and linings sewn together. All right, so we're back here. Let's trim these threads. We got a lot, everything's sort of connected here. Okay, what do we got here? All right. So let's examine these and make sure they're looking good. All right. All right, I'm also going to trim off these zipper end tabs. We don't really need this. It's just sort of extra bulk here. We just don't need, so I'm going to trim these off. All right, everything's getting sort of gunked up. I'm going to need to, I need to take I have these water wipes. They're not really baby wipes. They're mostly water from Amazon. I'm just going to go over there and kind of clean that area off and hopefully get that. There's just a little gunk there. Okay. So let's see how these look. I'm going to close the zipper up for now. Let's see here. So the tape is underneath. I think this turned out pretty good. Yeah, I don't see any tape in the seams. I think everything went as planned. Yeah, everything looks good on here. No tape, no tape, no tape. Good, good, good. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I think this is pretty good so far. So let me turn all of these right side out. And then we will baste we'll take this time right now to baste the tab on the sides just so I don't forget. I do not want to forget about that. Okay, I'm gonna close these zippers up for now. Yeah, see, you can sort of start to see it coming together. Putting in the curved zipper has definitely been a little tricky, but that leather tape has been a complete lifesaver. Yeah, no tape peeking out. This is looking excelente. Yay! All right, what does everybody think so far? So now 4 completed ones, and we got to do the backs after we put those tabs on. Yeah, we got all these little zip pouches. Lots of zip pouches. Oh yeah. Really cute zip pouches. So here's the little guys. Aren't these cute? And then we're making the big ones now. Okay. I'm gonna close this zipper up for now, just so it kind of is a little neater and easier to handle right now. All right. So I'm gonna cut 4 more. Oh wait, yeah, I already put the tab on here, so I need 3. Okay, so I already put this one on. So I need to cut 3 more 2.5 inch pieces out of this for the tabs. So I'm doing about 2.5 inches. It doesn't have to be super exact. Okay. Let's see here. Is this 2.5 inches? Yeah, okay, that was 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. Okay, so right about here. Okay. So we're gonna head back over to the sewing. Actually, I need to mark these too. So I got a little extra too. I could use this for something else. I kind of made a little extra. That's cool. So I'm going to baste on these little tabs 3/4 of an inch down from this seam here. So we're gonna do that. I'm just gonna make some marks here. Okay. It's gonna be fun. We're having fun here. This is fun. We're grooving. Well, I don't know about grooving, but you know, whatever. Okay. So about right here. Right here. Let's do here. Okay. And then here. Okay, now it's time to attach them. All right, so I've got these 3, so I already have 1 basted on, so I need 3 more. Yeah, 3 more, yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, okay. So really I'm just gonna, and this is just a strip of fabric, so it's a strip of 3.75 inch wide fabric, so 3 3/4 inches wide. I cut a 2-inch strip of Pellon Shape Flex 101 interfacing, put that kind of in the middle, eyeballed it, folded the ends over on top of the interface, and then I fold it in half again, and I have about a 1-inch wide strip here that's all nicely encased, and I top stitch on either side. So now all I have to do is, I'm not sure which side I want to be on the outside. All right, so I think I want this to be on the outside. So I'm just going to fold this in half and then baste this onto each piece like this. All right, so let's figure out which piece I want on the outside. I think I like this piece. Okay, yeah, beautiful, gorgeous. This fabric is so freaking pretty. I like this a lot. Like this a lot. Okay, let's make 1 more. I think I want this on the outside. All right, and at the sewing machine, I'll figure which side is going to be on the outside when I get there. So let's go back to the sewing machine and we will baste these on. Okay. Okay, here we are. All right, so obviously I need to move the lining out of the way so it doesn't accidentally like get sewn on. And when I'm deciding which one, let's see, so you can kind of figure out how it's going to look on the outside. And then, so it'll look like this, and then you have to just fold it in like this. I think I want this side on the front, facing the front. So I'm going to just put this in here and then line it up with the mark here. And then you'll just sew with about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Just baste this sort of in place. You're just holding it down until you actually sew this piece. So it doesn't have to be like, it really doesn't have to be super precise or anything. And I will backstitch a bit over it just to make sure it stays, because this is very thick layers. You also have to probably lift your presser foot a little bit to get over this little hump here. All right, let me get this. Okay. There we go. Yeah. This is super thick. And I started a little bit before the tab and I'll end a little bit after the tab. All right, here we go. Let's go to the next one. I'm just gonna daisy chain again, so we'll, all right, here we go. What is going on here? Oh, here we go. So I'm just gonna leave this connected and we'll just keep sewing. Check it out, look how much, I actually put a clip in this cup. I've got a bunch, this is where I keep all my thread, my trimmed thread. This is a solo party cup, so this is a party, right? And I actually put a clip in there, so that was fun. And so let's do the next one. So again, I'm just gonna separate this from the lining. Let's see, which way do I want? All right, I think I want this on the outside. Okay, so we'll have this be on the outside. So I'll put this like this, and I'm just lining it up with that mark I drew earlier. Okay. Line it up fairly even. All right, and then just take it away here. And again, you are gonna have to move, yeah, see, like you're gonna have to move your presser foot a little bit because this is not a walking foot, so it does need a little bit of help here. Let me fix this. Okay, it's gonna need a little help. All right, little help along the way. There we go. Back stitch. Really secure this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna sort of sew off the side. All right, one more. All right, I think I don't really want this to be on facing the front. I'm gonna have this little orange section be facing the front. So we'll turn this over. Same deal here. Okay. Move this back a little ways. Okay. All right, and this is, these are all basted on. How is everybody doing? We're making pretty good progress tonight. All right, so we got the front section, like the front main fabric, lining fabric, attached to the zipper. I basted on the side tabs. We finished the small pouches, so those are all done, even though I kind of screwed one up, but I fixed it. So that was great. So we fixed one. Okay, I think this is the fixed one, yeah. I really need to press this good. We're gonna work on that. So I think I might call it a night right now and just pick it up another day. I'm thinking Friday, and then I might also go live on Sunday. We'll have to see. I might do a little bit of prep work tomorrow. I don't know. Like, we're actually getting somewhat close to the end though. Like, we're not, yeah, but it's 8:15, so I might just call a night. We've been live for almost 4 hours right now, so we did a lot. How's everybody doing? I'll read some of the chat right now. Let's see here. Let's read. I don't know if Jamie's still here. If you are, hello, Jamie. We made some good progress tonight. Let's see who else we got. We got Krabby Dragon. You're like one of the top fans on this new channel. Thank you for that. Really appreciate all of the nice comments here. Leilani, she picked up some good tips with this, with the zipper and the tape stuff. So we got Leilani. We got Carolyn's Mercantile here. Hello from Napa, Jen. Thank you. Leilani, thanks. I was able to find the Sailrite double-sided tape online. Can't wait to try it on my next project. Awesome. Let me know how it goes. And Carolyn, lots of ironing. Yes, lots of ironing with sewing. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. We're going to eat something, but I want to thank the Sewing Report Etsy shop for sponsoring this live stream. This channel is not monetized yet. I would greatly appreciate it if you're here, if you could hit that like button. That actually does a lot for me in terms of the YouTube algorithm. Also, shopping the Etsy shop for your sewing supplies and fabric also helps. Smash the like button, subscribe to Sewing Report Live if you would like to see more live sewing. And if you have any friends that you feel would enjoy this channel, tell them about it, share it, tell people in Facebook groups, pretty much anything. I am trying to get this channel monetized. I'm making pretty good progress on watch time. I do need 1,000 subscribers. We're currently at over 250, so I need 750 more subscribers so that this channel actually makes ad revenue. I know sometimes you're like, oh, ads, Jen, that's how YouTubers are paid. That's what gives us the incentive to do this. Right now, I'm doing this for free. I really appreciate everyone watching, but I am really trying to get this channel monetized so that this makes more financial sense. So any sort of support in any way would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, I'm Jen with the Sewing Report. I'll see you again in the next one. And remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.